Salutations! Welcome to Pod Mortem. I'm Travis Hunter, joined as always by my co-hosts, my sister, and my brother-in-law.
Hi, I'm Reneé Hunter Vasquez.
Hi, I'm John Paul Vasquez.
This week, we're broadcasting live from the Wilson Street Factory, discussing the 2005 horror sequel, Saw 2. This film was directed by Darren Lynn Bousman from a script by Bousman and Leigh Whannell. Following the unexpected success of Saw, which raked in almost 100 times its production budget, producers rightfully began planning a follow-up. A Saw-like screenplay from Bousman eventually caught their attention, and after a page-one rewrite from series co-creator Whannell, the project moved forward as a sequel. With gruesome set pieces, a memorable twist ending, and a deeper dive into the mind and morality of the Jigsaw Killer, Saw 2 would go on to achieve incredible box office success and prove the series possessed franchise potential. This film was recommended to us by friend of the show, Sigrid Toland. Sigrid is an incredibly talented artist, so do yourself a favor and check out her amazing work on Instagram at frenetic_femme. That's FRENETIC_FEMME. Thank you, Sigrid, for your friendship, your support of the show, as well as this suggestion. So, Saw 2. What were your first impressions on the film?
So,
to start with a sign.
I want to apologize to anyone.
Sigrid?
Yeah,
Specifically
Sigrid.
Okay.
This movie was not that good for me.
Okay.
I think it was just. I'll talk about it a little more as it goes because I don't want to kind of give away, But I don't know, everything, like it was like one thing after the other. I was just shaking my head and like, come on, But I also don't, I guess, care much for the Saw franchise. Like it doesn't really do anything for me, kind of like Hostel, like that whole series just doesn't really do anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's just kind of has, to do with it. Some of the deaths were pretty like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was okay. It was just, it wasn't the greatest.
I do remember you weren't even that big of a fan of the first one.
No, that one now, thinking about that, it's like, oh no, the first one's fantastic now. But yeah, no, it was okay. The first one is definitely the best one.
Right. I would agree.
But that's it.
Here's the thing, and I told you this already. I think it's exactly because you don't buy into the universe as a whole. Right. Because from what I remember, and this is the last one, I really remember what happens, but I did watch further than this. Mm-hmm. We've not begun to slip yet. Like this is still good Saw.
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember that we did watch this one a lot when we were younger. And I don't know if that nostalgia kind of colors it for me in a different light because I still like this.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I took my notes. I have, it's not perfect. I think is an understatement. But the more that I thought about it after I finished watching it, I was like, wait.
Well, don't think about it.
Yeah.
That was your first mistake.
I think this is the perfect example of a film that is fun, but don't look too close. I know they told Detective Matthews to look closer. They were not speaking to us. They were like, viewers, stay over there.
They're like, did you read? It said Matthews.
There was a thought that came to me because John Paul was like, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 because he had just finished it. I was making dinner and a thought occurred to me that made me fucking bust out laughing because I had never thought of that aspect before.
Oh, God.
And we'll get into it. But again, this is not a perfect film if you're looking for cerebral.
Right.
I mean, maybe watch something else.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of, I appreciate the creativity in the Saw franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's not always creative, but when it is, it works for me. Plus, we just recently did an escape room, so I was really digging that.
Man, if they don't brand a Saw escape room,
I mean, what are you doing?
Like,
what are you doing?
And I'm sure someone's like, actually, they have 50.
Well, don't add us. We like to be stupid.
Exactly. Yeah, it's their favorite thing. I will say, I agree with you. I remember watching this a ton.
Yeah.
It came out when I was fucking 14 years old.
Yeah.
And this is the first Saw film that we went to theaters to see. Because I remember we watched the first one back when Netflix sent DVDs.
I do remember that, and it rocked our shit.
It did. Like, once it ended, we were like, oh my God.
Just forever changed.
Yeah, did not think that we would ever be the same again. I will say that in all fairness, the twist of this one actually still works for me. It's a shame to me that I would say the first 3 films are really good Saw films. First one's obviously the best to me.
Right.
I agree.
But then there's more.
Yeah, they kept going.
Then they kind of go off the rails a little bit. But this one moves in the direction that kind of embodies everything I love and hate about the Saw sequels.
Yeah.
Fair.
And so it's not necessarily a mixed bag because I like it more than that. But I do think that there are a lot of things that tell me that this film definitely is not perfect.
Yeah.
And it doesn't 100% live up to the first film, which I think is kind of impossible to do.
Right.
Yeah.
When you have the rug pulled out from under you like that, it's really hard to replicate that kind of a thing. But I do love learning more about the motivation of Jigsaw.
Yes.
I do like that they're kind of answering some questions that you might have had from the first film coming into this one. I love that they brought in so much of the crew and like the cinematographer, the fucking production designer, the composer.
Do you think they were going to end it here? Because the ending of this, I could kind of feel like that could be it.
I think that they might have thought that in the writing process, but once they got the box office back,
Yeah.
no, you will be making one of these
12 more of these.
every Halloween. It is funny to me the way that this even got started because it did not even start in the writing process as a Saw film at all.
Yeah.
Bousman had a script called The Desperate. I learned this on a featurette and reading the production notes. And he got the attention of David Armstrong, who was the cinematographer.
Right.
And he was like, hey, I liked what you did on Saw. Would you maybe want to work with me on this?
Yeah.
And David Armstrong read it and he's like, this is a Saw film.
Yeah.
So he took it to the producers and they kind of thought about it for a bit and then they realized that this is Saw 2.
Right.
You know, all it needs to do is have some changes. So in order to make those changes, because James Wan and Lee Winnell were a combination of promoting the first Saw film
Right.
and getting ready to do Dead Silence for Universal,
Hey.
All right.
which we all love.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. And so they couldn't come back to do this one. So they're like, well, we got this script. So Lee Winnell comes in. When I say page 1 rewrite, they started from scratch with what he had.
Right.
And just rewrote the entire thing.
So I wonder I know you said that they read in there like this is just Saw, but I wonder what it was before they went and changed it.
I would be very interested to see that.
Well, from what he had said, Bousman is like, well, it was and he, hear me out before I.
Oh, God.
He said it was an X-rated horror film, not sexual.
Right.
He said just for the aspect of the violence.
Right.
And I think that that's kind of where the Saw series begins to lose me.
Right.
Because it seemed like Jigsaw had something of what I like to call morality.
Right.
Right.
And then towards the end of the series, it got to like, now how are we going to fuck these people up? Now, before we put this film in a safe place, we would like to issue a warning for spoilers. Pod Mortem is a very in-depth podcast, and in thoroughly discussing horror films, we have no choice but to spoil a thing or two. If you don't wish to be spoiled, please go watch the film, then come back and enjoy the show. If you've already seen the film or don't care about spoilers, let's play a game. Now, this film relies heavily on having already seen Saw. If you haven't, we recommend you go watch it or go listen to episode 29 of our show as a refresher. So through the opening credits of the film, we see a light bulb slowly come into focus as it flickers on. It buzzes to life as we hear shallow breaths, and in POV shots, the camera looks around a dingy room. After spying a turned-off television, a hand reaches out to a mirror to pull it closer.
All right, man, there's going to be a bag on a table next to you. It's going to talk to you. Just listen to it.
Is there like a chicken baby in the sink or something?
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Yeah. I liked this opening.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
way this happened, I did enjoy this.
But the mirror reveals Michael, played by Noam Jenkins. And not to use medical terms, but his right eye appears very fucked up.
Yeah.
It is bruised and swollen, and the lid is partially open, almost Frankenstein status. Mm-hmm. But the camera pulls back to show that Michael is sat on a stool in only his underwear with a mask-like device attached to his neck. It's two-sided. One part of the mask is just below his chin, and the other is at the back of his head, and it's all strapped to him with a leather strap at his torso.
I feel like whatever's going on here, he didn't need to be stripped down to his panties. I don't understand. Like, what did you get out of this?
Can I
ask? I feel like that was strange. It was an odd choice. Unless he was like asleep. I don't know.
They just pulled him from bed?
Yeah.
It's like he sleeps in his boxers or whatever.
Put some shorts on him.
I just thought that was...
You have access to his closet.
On top of everything else. It's just like, that's fucking rude.
I will say, though... him being in his underwear makes it worse. I feel like it's a vulnerability thing.
Yes, that's what. Yeah.
I feel like I can face whatever horrors there are if I have a pair of pants on.
Just let me have my sweats.
That's all I'm asking. I will say that there are a lot of the Saw edits, if you will. Kevin Grutert did the editing of the first Saw, so it kind of has that continuity.
Right.
To where you're like, oh, this is Saw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The other thing, though, that I thought was interesting is with all those edits, there is, from that like POV shot in back when it pulls back and everything, it's a single shot for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Which is not what you're used to in these.
No.
Yeah.
And I don't, it's like, and it will never happen again.
Don't get used to it.
And the other thing is the green color palette. Now, I have spoken out about filtering films.
Right.
I prefer them do Suspiria status.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be using colors, use the goddamn colors.
Right.
I feel like it works for what this is because it's like sick. It's like
it's
sick
gross.
looking. Yeah.
It's like you're looking through the flu.
You got your flu goggles
Through the
on.
phlegm.
But Michael screams for help as the camera hangs over him, closing in tight on sharp spikes inside of the device on his neck. He stumbles off the stool and notices a long cord attached to the back of the device. But before he can collect himself or figure out what it even is, the television switches on. On the TV, we see Billy the Puppet. He says that he wants to play a game and proceeds to read him for filth.
Okay, that's my next. That's my next note.
Yeah.
Do you have what he says?
I do.
Okay.
And it starts off mean. He says, in what could loosely be called your life.
Yeah.
I was like, not loosely be called my
damn.
life. Just fucking kill me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need the roast beforehand.
Do you got to be a dick about it? Like an Anthony Jeselnik over here.
Guys, like, I know I wanted a killer to,
You did.
say something funny, but goddamn.
Yeah. There's a line.
Yeah.
And you're crossing it.
Yeah.
But he says that Michael has done nothing but watch others. While society would call him a snitch or a rat, he would simply call Michael unworthy of the life he's been given. He urges Michael to look inward instead of outward and wonders if Michael will be willing to give up the one thing he relies on to go on living. He then describes the device around his neck, calling it the death mask. Fantastic.
Great.
Oh, so I'm fucked, but cool.
Yeah.
But he says it's on a spring timer, and if Michael doesn't find a key, it will close. He says, think of it like a Venus flytrap. This always makes me laugh because Jigsaw's like, look, I know this is a little above
Let me put it in layman's terms.
Because even the other film, he's like, think of it like a reverse bear trap.
Yeah.
That's not even real. But to make matters worse, he then shows Michael footage of himself knocked out on a table as a figure walks into frame, performing a sadistic bit of surgery on his face.
Was that Fritz?
Yeah, no shit.
He had his posture.
Tell me, the shuffle was giving Fritz.
I will say, and I think it's very... It's very interesting to me because I heard on commentary that this is actually Darren Lynn Bousman in a cameo. And so... from the release of Saw 2, people wondered if that wasn't Jigsaw. And if you think about it, him giving the character like a shuffle and a limp.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I was like, huh.
Yeah, that could have been somebody that we met that would have reason to be limping.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Okay.
Who might have been about to bleed to death. But it doesn't matter. But Jigsaw says that he'll give Michael one hint as to where he's hidden the key, and he flashes an X-ray. It made me laugh because it's like, it's probably my fucked up eye, isn't it?
No,
I'm like, that's not a hint.
No.
yeah.
That's you
Not
telling
at all,
me.
yeah.
He was never a quiz show host, dude. He's doing his best.
No, yeah.
But in the X-ray, we see a key hovering inside Michael's skull as he's told it's right before his eyes. And Jigsaw fucking laughs at himself.
He's like, that was good.
I was like, is he me? What?
Yeah.
But he asks how much blood Michael will shed to stay alive and says, live or die. Make your choice before the TV gives way to static. Michael screams, asking who the man on the television is, but in his rage and confusion, he dislodges the mask from the cable, starting the timer.
You dumb bitch.
So I do got a question, though.
Okay.
So what would have happened if he wouldn't have done that and he would have just stood there? Timer never would have went off. So then what?
You would have had all the time in the world.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I mean, what if he's like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just...
Well, then he'll starve to death.
Well, he might have been able to slip out of the mask then.
Yeah. But what
I'll
if...
get my head nice and skinny.
What if Jigsaw needs the room, though?
He's like, yeah, I got a trap at 6:30.
Yeah. He's like, come on, dude.
You need to move this along.
My 8 o'clock will be here pretty soon.
It's like,
can you...
he found the only loophole.
Yeah. Or what if he needs the TV? He's like, look, I'm just going to take
just
this.
wheel it out.
Yeah, when
We have
you're done.
one television.
Yeah.
You see where I'm working, dude? I will say that is a great point, and I feel like there's a lot of these traps that they make the worst decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, of course, it's standard. It's a Saw movie, but at the same time, you're watching the screen, you're like, dude, that cable is clearly attached to a timer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't move.
Don't fucking move.
But as time ticks away, Michael opens a nearby toolbox and rushes over to the mirror. In frenzied shots, we see him ready the scalpel to his own eyeball before chickening out and shouting for help.
I mean, this is a big ask.
It is.
I know that like adrenaline, whatever, just I don't like eye shit.
Right.
No, not at all.
And so I just feel like he's asking for a lot for this man to gouge out his own eye. Take the key and unlock it in 3 minutes. I feel like you've not given me enough time to accomplish this.
And that's where I'm starting to feel like, do you really want to save these people now?
Yeah.
Like, give him an hour.
Right.
Think about it.
Well, see, I figured his eye would have been empty. You know what I mean? And he just like shoved it in there or whatever. But no, he's still got...
See, and I think that's the thing.
So
It also doesn't make any sense to me because it looks like the incision is below his eye.
Right.
I've never had to put something in someone's eyeball like that
I
or
don't
behind
know.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would cut where they cut.
Yeah.
And try to dig underneath my own eyeball instead of slicing my eye in half.
Yeah.
It sounds like the implication in the tape is that Igor or Fritz took his eye out, placed the key in, and tucked the
put it
eye back in.
Well, he wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah.
I feel like we're already pulling at too many threads.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah.
But Michael continues to struggle against his own fear, raising the scalpel and telling himself to do it. He finally gives up in frustration, throwing the scalpel and falling to his knees as the camera swirls around him. In pulsing, chaotic edits, he screams as the timer reaches its end, the mask snapping shut and the spikes impaling his face. He falls over, blood pouring from the mask, and we get the title, Saw 2.
I mean, exactly what he said was going to happen happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of gave it away a little bit. Spoiler alert, Jigsaw. I will say this kind of begins the trend of cold open kills in Saw movies, because it seemed like everyone after this felt like it had to do the exact same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the first one did not start with a kill in the opening.
No, I feel like you talked about how like, yeah, there's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of differences as well.
Yeah.
This one, I feel like in the first one, a lot of the violence happens where we don't see it. It's more implied. Mm-hmm. And this, it's like, nah, y'all are going to see it. They just really upped the stakes, which I mean is what... we were talking off mic, and I'm like, I know this is not necessarily a great film. Mm-hmm. I think it's a great Saw film for what this is. It's a great sequel. You took what they did, and you are turning up the volume, and you're upping the stakes. Because if Randy from Scream taught me anything, you got to up the stakes in the sequel. And I mean, they deliver here because The violence is not implied. Like, we're going to be in this man's eyeball. Like, we're here.
And one thing I will say is that despite there being more on-screen violence, even this is pretty restrained compared to what the series will become.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, honestly, if this were like Saw 6, he would have made fucking goulash of that eyeball. And we would have been there for every moment, be like, ew!
No!
Is it just people figuring out what to do and doing it to get free?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Nobody dies. He's like, fuck.
It's like, God damn it.
They're getting too smart.
Yeah. I got to work on this, man. Me and this puppet need to workshop some shit. But after this, we cut to Detective Eric Matthews, played by Donnie Wahlberg, walking down a hallway in an electronics store smoking a cigarette. I learned on commentary, this is what happens with budget filmmaking. Mm-hmm. The doors that he passes in this electronics store are the dressing rooms for the cast.
Hey, it works.
It works.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a Best Buy. Yeah. But he tells the security guard, played by Ho Chow, that he's here for Daniel Matthews, his son. I think he stole a copy of Bone Storm.
Capiche?
Yeah. But after signing some documents, the security guard lets him into the room where Daniel, played by Eric Knudsen, is seated. If you remember him from Scream 4.
Yeah.
Daniel's like, took you long enough.
I'm sorry. I got to stop you right there. Because my blood boiled immediately. The fucking audacity.
Oh,
This kid's on thin ice.
Yeah.
I know we just met, but I got to tell you, I'm not a fan.
This is our introduction to you? But he just snags his jacket and walks past his father. They then walk outside, Matthew's telling Daniel that they're probably going to press charges. Daniel says it's because they're assholes, but it's more likely because, he stole from them.
No shit.
He's like, my God.
Yeah, cry about it. But Matthews offers a line. Your mother gets to keep custody. I get to take you into custody. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I hope the writer pat himself on the back.
No, it was good. I just feel like he's wearing like a washed up detective costume.
Yeah. That's from Spirit Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
No, literally. The loose tie, the rumpled shirt, the cigarette, the cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm like, where'd you even get that?
How do you have 3 hands? What do you...
It's like, just keep this because we're going to use it again in bedside.
That's true. He's like, but add a shaver, though.
Yes. We're going to mix it up a little bit.
But he tries to level with his son to figure out what's going on with him, and Daniel just asks why he has to be a cop 24/7. Matthews says it's called being a father, but Daniel says he's a much better cop.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Also, his cigarette, I don't think is lit in this scene. It was a little distracting.
It's an oral fixation.
Yeah.
It's like I quit 6 years ago.
Yeah. But he says that he thinks he should just go back to his mom's early, and Matthews makes him repeat it. Daniel gets about half of it out, and Matthews shouts, "Well, then go!"
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And when I think of something, a good comeback, I'm going to make people repeat what they said so I can give it to them.
The jerk store called. Yeah. But Daniel, clearly annoyed at this, just gets in the passenger seat of Matthews' car. But in an odd transition of flashing light, we find Matthews sat in a chair next to his bed at home, smoking a cigarette.
It looks like a motel.
Yeah.
It does. I will say that everywhere looks a little dingy in the Saw universe.
Yes.
So I don't know what I thought.
It's like y'all don't have Clorox there or
Yeah.
or light bulbs.
Yeah.
I know this is Saw, like you were saying, and like the edits and everything, but I was like, oh my God. It was like every time, it's like, you really like that Star Wipe, huh? It was like, fuck.
It's their favorite.
Yeah.
It gets a little, I will say that. And I think when we get to the end, not to give anything away, editing ends up on both my positives and negatives for this picture. But Matthews tries to call his son on the phone, saying that he hasn't heard from him since yesterday, but he only gets his voicemail. As soon as he sets his phone down, it rings. So he snatches it up, but it's not his son. It's his sergeant calling him into a crime scene.
This is nitpicky, but I feel like in older movies, you can get away with the Daniel? Oh, sorry. I thought you were someone. This is a cell phone.
Well,
and you have caller ID.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't look at it.
It just made me laugh. He's like, oh, sorry, Sarge, or whatever.
It's like, well, I've never saved my son's phone number. But I will say, in a neat, practical transition, Matthews throws on his jacket, stepping out of his apartment and into the hallway of the crime scene, meeting up with Detective Allison Carey, played by Dina Meyer.
I feel like it's very obvious how they did this, but I still really loved it.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. And I will say, they go very overboard with this in the sequels.
Do they?
Yeah. There is a scene where somebody's in a saw trap, gets thrown through like a glass window. Well, most windows are glass.
A glass window, you say?
Glass window, my friends. And the transition is into like the police station. You're like, did he just throw her into the police station? But no, it's just a transition. But Carrie says that county asbestos cleaners were working on a deadline and stumbled upon a body and called it in. She says the section of the building that they're in has actually been abandoned for 2 years, aside from people seeking shelter, or she says a random rave party every now and then.
Cool.
This sounds like a cool town. I will say I would not be able to tell that this building was abandoned because every building looks like this.
Yeah.
In Saw. Like I
He's
just
like, no, I live right there.
Yeah. No, I stepped out of my apartment. That wasn't... But she says while they don't have a time of death, the arriving officer called it in as Matthews' buddy. He corrects her, though, saying that he wasn't his buddy. He was his informant.
So his head is still in this trap, right? Was the
But we
other...
haven't gotten there yet.
Well, all right. I'll save it.
The arriving officer says that he wasn't 100% certain, so they called him in. Matthew says that if he can get a good look at his face, he'll tell her in about 2 seconds if it's him or not.
Where's his face at?
No. That's where we run into a problem. They head inside the room, and through a series of quick edits of crime scene photos, we see that the body in question is Michael from the beginning of the film.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my thing. The cop that was like, nah, that's Matthews' dude or whatever.
Yeah.
Was he like, yeah, those are his panties, all right? How the fuck did he know?
I don't know.
And even the way that Matthews identifies him in a minute is real
very weird.
flimsy.
Yeah.
That just confused me.
I will agree.
I mean, like, give him like a giant sleeve or like tattoos or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh shit, I've seen that before. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that belongs to his dude.
Right.
No, instead,
Yeah.
Matthews recognizes a faded tattoo on his ankle, and he's like, it's him.
So
We got those together.
I got to see this fucking rolls up his...
It was a summer to
when
remember.
when did he see his ankles before?
I don't know.
I couldn't pick my own ankles from a lineup. How the fuck did you look at this dude and
know for sure?
Yeah, no, that's him. That's his tan line. It's like, what?
Tan line.
That made me like,
It's like, no, he wears his
Yeah.
socks really high.
Yeah.
That's what we loved about him. But Matthews then looks at Michael's shoulder blade and notices a jigsaw puzzle-shaped piece of skin missing. I never talked about this before, but do you think Jigsaw keeps this skin, or like what's
Like pieces of jerky or something. Not that he's
I'm
eating
not-
them.
yeah.
Not that he's eating them. But you gotta preserve it.
There's already enough Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be eating these people. And I feel like later in the series, they don't even really focus on him taking they just call him Jigsaw just because they've been calling him Jigsaw.
That's just his name now.
Yeah, but the puzzle was the whole point.
Right.
Yeah.
But Matthews asks when Carrie was going to tell him about that, but she wanted him to see it for himself. She says everything so far matches Jigsaw's pattern and asks if he knows anyone who would want to do this to his informant. The problem, though, is that he's an informant.
Yes. A lot of people
Yeah.
probably would.
Exactly. Carrie says the method of murder and the skill it would take to pull this off should narrow down the list a little. Matthews turns to leave, facetiously calling her the expert, but she says, "Look closer, Detective Matthews." He turns back around and is like, "At what?" She tells him to ask whoever wrote it, and we see that the words are written in red paint on the ceiling.
And
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be so dramatic, I would say.
I'm here for the dramatic. I feel like I'd be like, listen, is there anybody that could have a grudge against you?
Yeah, yeah.
This is your informant. They left you. She's just like, nah, look up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like rude.
It's like,
He
are we
was- he
fucking
was being
police or
difficult
not?
too, though.
He was. He was. I think my thing is like she neglected to tell him. She's like, I wanted you to see the puzzle piece carved into your friend, and then
Why are you playing games?
Yeah.
are you Jigsaw?
She's in on it for sure.
But later at the station, Carrie watches the tape that Jigsaw made for Michael and takes notes. Matthews, for some reason, comes into the room in a huff, almost like a teenager. It's like, you've been hanging out with Daniel too much. but he tells her that she's a lot like Jigsaw and that she apparently likes to play games, and he tells her to never pull anything like she did at the crime scene ever again.
As soon as they were in this office together, I was like, okay, so is this where we learned that they used to have a relationship or
Absolutely.
later?
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We'll learn.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I got to agree with him. She was very out of line with the fucking shit she was pulling.
It wasn't cool.
She was showing him what was going on.
She was barely showing him.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
She was
but
leading him to do it
like
himself.
I said, I feel like they were both just kind of, you know what I mean?
Being dicks.
Yeah, I was like, come on, you guys just work together.
Well, we don't know how they operate.
Yeah.
But she says that she's not taunting him. Jigsaw is. Matthews says that he's got enough on his plate with his caseload, his fucking sticky-fingered son, his wife's divorce lawyers, and internal affairs breathing down his neck. I was like, can you repeat that last one?
Yeah.
You kind of just glossed over. Carrie apologizes, saying that she just wanted to bring him in on this case because Jigsaw asked for him by name. Matthews reminds her that they're not partners anymore, and this isn't the first time a psychopath has called him out.
Like this, though?
No.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're really acting super chill about what you just saw and the implications of it.
That would be the worst thing I had ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
So it is very strange that
Out
there's
of
like...
everybody on the force. Me?
Yes.
It's like, oh,
And
no.
your informant is
Yeah.
murdered. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like you should be reacting a little bit bigger than
Yeah.
this.
He should, but what you fail to understand is he's got a lot of paperwork. He's got to... But Carrie tries to pull the old friends card on him. Like you said, and this one was like, or maybe lovers.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
clearly
some history here, but it does not work. So she storms off angrily, asking when he stopped being a cop. He's like, so my son says I'm always a cop.
Yeah.
You're saying I'm not anymore. He's torn. But that night, Matthews lies awake in bed, reliving moments from the past couple days. He kind of discovers more evidence in the montage of his memory.
Yeah.
that's how it works.
Yeah, it's like Suspiria. He recognizes a piece from the trap is labeled from Wilson Street, and he immediately grabs his phone. I will say this is either genius or very sloppy work.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards sloppy work.
It's like, did I use that piece of Wilson's trap?
I think we're supposed to be like, oh, he's still good police.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like saying it like that because that's how they said it in The Wire.
I'm murder police for... I'm like, what? You what?
He's good police.
I love it. But we cut to a SWAT team led by Daniel Rigg, played by Lyric Bent, formulating a plan to swarm the Wilson Steel factory. Matthews and Carrie stand by as the plan comes together, and we watch various police vehicles in the light of day descend upon the building in question.
I'm a little skeptical that a piece of equipment that was made here, being at the crime scene, would get a warrant for them to storm this place in a raid.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like a judge would be like, I hear you. I need more. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think this would be enough.
Not in this universe.
Yeah, no shit.
The judge's room is so dark he couldn't see it. He's like, I'll sign it.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I will
Do
say,
you know what time it is?
it's almost like you find a Coke can and they're like, that's it, we got to go to Georgia.
Yeah.
Because that's where the,
Yeah,
the
that's where it
factory
comes.
is.
It's like, no.
It's a little much. But Rigg remarks to Matthews that it's just like the good old days. And when Carrie reminds Matthews that he said he was too busy for this, he says that he was just tagging along.
I'm like, you don't need to gloat.
No,
Yeah.
you got him.
Yeah.
Let's small victories. One thing I do like about the Saw series is their use of minor characters from previous installments. Mm-hmm. Like Detective Carey was the one that pointed out Jigsaw's little peephole
Yeah,
Right.
in the first film.
one.
And then later, I can't remember if it's Saw 5 or 6 because they kind of run together for me after I stop enjoying them. But Rigg is like the protagonist in one of them.
Really?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's good. Because
Yeah.
I read that he had auditioned for another part in this.
Uh-huh.
But this made me laugh because they said no because it would be stereotypical for a black person to play this role.
Okay.
And then the actor that does get it is Puerto Rican, so they're like, no, that's fine. Like,
That's
we'll
true.
get that. Yeah, I in my head I was like,
That's a little...
that's not
Yeah.
okay. Whatever. But that this role is much smaller, and he was disappointed. So to hear that that makes me happy.
Mhm.
Because
Well,
I mean, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
And I understand the first half, but they're like, no, that's cool. That tripped me out.
I'm a little mad at the casting director now.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You fucking dick. I did want to say I learned on commentary that this and pretty much every exterior scene was filmed behind the studio where they shot everything.
Damn.
Like, they used this one space. They barely left the area. I love that. The studio in question that we're about to head inside, according to the production notes, David Hackle, he was the production designer, he built 27 sets in this building.
Damn.
In 3 weeks.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And so that's kind of how they can kind of move in and out of everything like they do.
Wasn't this another one that the whole film was filmed in like 20 something days or something?
Yeah. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, we can nitpick or whatever, but I feel like they did a lot with the little.
Right.
But that still doesn't excuse everything.
No.
But did they only have those 20 something days, or they were like, we can do this quick?
We nailed it.
This needs to be out by Halloween.
Yeah.
Send everyone home.
But with everyone in position, the SWAT team breaches the building, heading up a set of stairs. As they sweep with their lights and weapons at the ready, one of the officers cuts through a locked gate, and a team of 3 begins to ascend the staircase behind it. Unbeknownst to the officers, they step over and around a series of spring-loaded traps.
You fools.
Yeah.
I feel like, because isn't Carrie supposed to be some expert or whatever?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be like, be very careful, look at everything, watch where you're going, don't touch anything?
Oh, well, I would say
they're just like, boom!
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, very loudly going.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, dude.
My thing is like, I don't know, because they don't really say the timeline between the first film and this one, but we just lost a detective to a shotgun blast to the head from a trap, potentially in this building.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on.
Maybe tread lightly. That's all I'm saying.
Not a bad idea. But suddenly, a light snaps on at the top of the staircase. We hear the squeaks of a tiny tricycle as Billy the Puppet wheels to the edge of the stairs. A spotlight hits him, and he even gets his own music cue, which I was like,
Yeah.
Why not?
yeah, sure, he deserves it. One of the officers says, freeze! It's like, how do you not know?
Yeah. No shit.
You're off the team. Like, have you not watched any of these tapes? But Billy lets out his signature laugh as the gates close behind the officers. An officer attempts to climb the staircase, only for one of the wires and pins of a trap to snap, sending his leg through the stair and sending a piece of wood through his knee, knocking it backwards. Now, this is shot so frantically, and it's very dark.
Yeah.
I had to rewind it like 5 times.
We were like, what the fuck happened?
Like, how'd he get fucked up? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I bet that felt super shitty.
Oh, yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, bummer, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Gave him the old chicken leg.
You know, you can't even help him for a second. You're just like, ooh,
God damn. I can't look at that right now. But Billy the Puppet disappears into the shadows because his work is done. I do want to point out, because I thought it was very interesting, but Billy the Puppet this time around is completely mechanical.
All right.
And they was controlled with like actual machinery and mechanics.
Yeah, not like the first one.
No,
Yeah.
I think it was wires last time.
Well,
Really?
Yeah.
You said his job is done. What was his job?
Distraction.
Hey, look at me.
Yeah.
Freeze.
So yeah, I mean, it worked. But the other 2 officers try to help the chicken man, but they are promptly electrocuted by the sides of the metal fence. Rig calls it in, telling the second team to get in here now. I understand the urgency, but I think you should have added it, but be careful.
Yeah.
Yes. Watch every fucking step. Like, everybody's just like, no, we'll keep running.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
You know how hard it must be for Jigsaw to live here? Like, you got to remember.
No shit.
I never thought about that, but like, we step on like Legos and shit. We don't have to risk getting our knees blown out. But Matthews, Carey, and their team head inside while Rig pulls his injured colleague out of the fenced-in trap. After he does so, Rig heads up with the second team, flanked by Matthews and Carey, and into Jigsaw's workshop. After passing several mannequins, plans, and half-made traps, the team stumbles upon a man in a black robe trimmed in red. Their weapons drawn, they tell him to put his hands up, and he complies. Their lights illuminating his face, we see that he is John Kramer, the Jigsaw killer played by Tobin Bell. They tell him to get on his knees, but he politely tells him that he can't. We see that he's hooked up to IVs and a ton of medical monitoring equipment.
They're like, drop the tissue. It's like, I understand
It's like, calm down.
how dangerous he is, but this dude is clearly unwell.
Yes.
I mean, maybe he could be faking it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, he faked it with Detective Tapp and cut his throat.
Like, too fast.
Yeah, he was. Because he was giving them all. He was like, sick of the world, sick of the world. And then Tapp's like, oh my God, I'm so into this. And then he gets a throat cut.
I'm so into this. This motherfucker's spit.
He's dangerous, is what I'm trying to say.
All right, maybe they should have been yelling at him. I get it.
I did laugh because of two things. One, we kind of pan across a shelf full of medication.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we get it. He's really
Yeah.
he's in a bad way. But the other thing is that there's a bowl of cereal sat in front of him.
Right.
They had said that they originally filmed it where whenever they rushed up the stairs, he was taking a bite of cereal.
Oh my God. So this is like the apple trope?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And he's just like chewing it as they're
What took
just
you so long?
Yeah. It's like, this is Honey Nut, man. Come on. But the officers rush to pat Jigsaw down and handcuff him as Rigg reads him his rights. With a snarky chew of his gum, Matthews approaches Jigsaw, leans in real close and asks, is this close enough?
He's like, because I'm Detective Matthews, and then you said for me to look closer, but like I caught you.
The ceiling
Yeah.
Remember that
stated
my informant.
my name. Jigsaw's like, I killed that guy and I took a piece of his back. Yeah, we know. But Matthews smiles slyly as Jigsaw just stares at him, and Rigg tells officers to bake him away. As Matthews goes to walk away, Jigsaw says that he'll actually have to stay here while Matthews deals with his problem. Matthews asks what problem, and Jigsaw directs him to a room behind them. They cautiously make their way over to another fenced-in area, Rigg checking the fence for electricity before opening it. I was like, good.
Yeah.
At least somebody's fucking paying attention.
Yeah.
You know how fucked up that would be if Jigsaw's like over there. It's like, like, why did we trust him? But Matthews and Carrie head inside with Rigg, and we see the room is filled with machines, but a massive sheet covers something at the center of the room. Matthews removes it, revealing a wall of screens all connected to cameras in various locations surveilling the inside of a house.
These are all like the reveals where there's something over it and they take it off and they're like, I love imagining him going and draping tarps and sheets over everything and being like, they're gonna fucking not even know what this is. It's just hilarious to me to think about the behind the scenes.
I just love his pageantry.
Right.
Yes.
It reminds me of, what is it, Sheriff Rock, where he says, I don't give, I unveil. It's like, hell yeah,
There's
man.
something even in a minute that I was like, you petty motherfucker. I love it. Like, I just love it.
But in one room, we see 8 people trapped inside looking for a way out, which is bad enough, but it becomes even worse for Matthews because his son Daniel sits cowering in the corner of the room.
I think that grainy figure is my son.
So yeah, he looks grainy sometimes. I can recognize it anywhere.
I hate when he does that.
Let me see his ankle. But realizing that Jigsaw has kidnapped his son, he rushes over to him, asking what the fuck is happening on the monitors. Jigsaw's like, well, that's your son. I'm sure you recognize him.
Fucking dude, man.
Yeah. What do you mean? What's going on?
Like,
You remember him, right?
yeah. This, of course, only angers Matthews more, who is held back by officers, and he continues to ask what's going on. Jigsaw says that he hasn't looked at the monitors in a while, but he'd imagine that Daniel is cowering in the corner.
God damn it.
He'd win
He's
that
like,
bet.
your son's a bitch.
Absolutely furious, Matthews asks where he is, but Jigsaw says he'll have to figure that out, and he'll have to hurry because in 2 hours, a nerve gas will begin to break down his body tissue, and he'll begin to bleed from every orifice.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Jigsaw smiles and says, oh yes, there will be blood.
Iconic.
Yeah, it's a great line. I was like, this. I know this is just for the trailer, but
Right?
Yeah.
Bang up job.
great work. But Matthews calms down a little, asking again where Daniel is, and Jigsaw tells him that he's in a safe place. I'm sure he just means this figuratively.
Right. Yeah, of course.
A clock ticks away in the background as Matthews rushes off to the surveillance room, and Jigsaw takes in some oxygen from a mask. Matthews asks for a phone so he can try to call Daniel and confirm what's going on, but when Carrie's phone connects to his voicemail, we hear Jigsaw has created a personalized message. I don't know the last time I laughed this hard.
This is what I'm talking about, where
It's
I'm like,
petty.
you had to go in there.
Press the buttons. And he probably didn't. This probably isn't the first one.
Yeah.
Because you never get it right the first time. But he's like, Daniel can't come to the phone right now. I'm like, oh my God. Are you serious? But defeated, Matthews drops the phone, but Rigg notices a countdown next to the screens reading roughly 1 hour, 47 minutes. I say roughly and then give the exact, the exact time.
On or about.
Yeah, close to an hour and 47 minutes. But Rigg requests a bomb squad to look into that. The camera sweeps through the screen, transitioning into the house where the victims are trapped. I thought that looked pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Jonas, played by Glenn Plummer, attempts to wake up a woman who has crashed out on the floor. Laura, played by Beverly Mitchell, paces around the room while Addison, played by Emmanuel Vaugier, tries to push the heavy metal door open. Gus, played by Tony Nappo, just stumbles around confused as Xavier, played by Frankie G, looks around pensively. Abby, played by Timothy Bird, peeks his head out from under his hood.
Great job.
Thank you.
I know that you just said all of their names. I don't think all of their names are even mentioned in this film.
I don't know that anyone says, hey, Addison.
No.
No, that never happens. I do know that Abby gets the most play with his name.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Xavier.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Daniel, yes.
Yeah.
That's because fucking it gets screamed quite a bit.
But everybody else is just like, oh, that chick or that dude.
Yeah. Blonde lady.
Yeah.
You know. But after Jonas determines that the woman on the ground is still breathing, Addison asks if this is jail. Instead of telling her what a stupid fucking question that is.
I was like, what jails have you been to? Because I'm concerned.
Jonas is very kind and he's like, it's not. But he admits that he's spent his fair share of time behind bars and that allows him to know the difference. She calls out for help, but Xavier tells her nobody is listening. Laura points out a camera that's in the corner of the room, though, saying that somebody is. We get a breathy kind of noise when we see the camera.
Yeah.
We're just like, oh, yeah, we get it.
Oh my God.
We entered through the camera. That's how we got in here. But okay. Daniel says that nobody is listening because those types of cameras don't have sound. He's like, trust me, I've stolen enough.
I'm an expert at this.
Circuit City, I'm banned from. But Gus, frustrated, throws off his suit jacket, pondering how you could just wake up in a room and not know how you got there. But he finally arrives at it. They were kidnapped. He then launches into a story about a movie he saw the other night where a reporter was similarly kidnapped and placed into a room with no windows and no light, and he says that reporter spent 9 years in that room. I couldn't find this anywhere.
Yeah.
It really felt like a nod or a reference to something.
I was trying to figure it out. I was like, is your source on this reliable?
Have you ever seen a movie?
Yeah.
So I know they don't know right now. So you want me to believe that this sick old man took Ollie on, threw you in there for real?
Right.
Without a fight? Because he doesn't look beat up. He doesn't look...
No.
I mean...
He's very capable.
Yeah. Oh.
He had whatever Dexter uses.
M90 or whatever.
Yeah.
M99. Well, we see later that I think that's exactly what it is. But I will say, I think that is one thing that the Saw series is just, it has so much of, which is shoddy police work.
Right.
Yes.
Because after having one conversation with him, he is very weak.
Yes.
So obviously, there's something going on.
Yeah, someone might be helping.
But Matthews is like, how did you do this on your own? It's ridiculous. But Xavier says that 9 years is nothing and they should stop bitching and just do something. But just then, Addison hears some noise outside the door and tells everyone to shut up. They all listen in and can faintly hear a ticking noise. Not good. But just then, the woman on the floor wakes up, loudly gasping for air. She struggles to stand, leaning up against a post and vomiting. Jonas helps her up and puts her against the wall, telling her to calm down and asks for her name. She is Amanda Young, played by Shawnee Smith.
The drug addict.
Yeah. So yes, as we were told.
If y'all remember?
Yes. I remember being in the theater and being like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe. I was very happy to see her. 14-year-old me had a massive crush on Shawnee Smith. Actually, that's how she got in the original Saw, because James Wan had a crush on her.
I was going to say
Yeah.
because you had a crush on her.
Because I was like, James, please.
Right,
You got
this is for Travis.
But I learned on commentary, which I thought was very interesting, is that Shawnee Smith was actually 4 months pregnant here.
Wow, really?
Damn, and she does a lot of shit in
Yeah.
there.
She does. She said that I guess she had tried to keep it a secret, but they went out to a cast dinner, and her daughter like went up to Bousman and she was like, mommy's got a baby in there.
Yeah.
He's like, what? And she goes, do not tell
Yeah.
anyone.
Kids will tell your fucking business every time.
Should have never told that kid.
Not until they wrapped.
But Amanda asks where she is, and Jonas tells her that nobody knows, and they all woke up here just like she did. Absolutely crushed and well aware of what's happening, Amanda bangs against the wall and screams. She then starts feeling around various objects in the room, eventually removing a brick from the wall and reaching in to find a tape player. It shakes in her hand, and Jonas asks what it is. She tells him everything they need to know is on it. She presses play, and we hear Jigsaw's voice. He welcomes them to whatever this is and acknowledges that they're probably wondering where they are, but he assures them that the location is not important, but what these walls offer is. He says it's salvation if they can earn it. He tells them that 3 hours from now, the front door will open, but unfortunately, the deadly nerve agent that they're breathing in will only give them 2 hours to live. He compares the agent to the gas used during the Tokyo subway attacks, which, goddamn, that's still pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking awful too. Like,
Yeah.
awful.
I think that was 95.
God damn.
damn.
Given
yeah.
10 years, and like, let's put a movie in. Or,
Yeah.
let's put a movie in.
Let's put a movie in.
Let's put it in a movie.
Read the room.
Yeah,
God damn.
fucking hell. But Jigsaw says that the only way to survive is to find an antidote, and thankfully, several of them are hidden throughout the house. One is even inside of a safe in the room that they're currently in, and he says that they all possess the combination for it. He tells them to think hard because the numbers are in the back of their mind, and the clues to their order can be found over the rainbow. So Jigsaw is high as he's doing
Yeah.
It's like very cool. But I know he liked to get wet. But he says that once they realize what they all have in common, they'll understand why they're all here. He then says X marks the spot for that clue. So he's just reusing old shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow your heart.
Got a little lazy. But he leaves them with, let the game begin.
So the whole time this is happening, everybody's kind of at least said one word.
Yeah.
And dude, Abby is just like hood on, slinking around in the background. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, no.
is nobody gonna say anything to this dude?
They
It's like,
they intentionally make that dude look fucking
no,
shady
yeah.
as fuck.
I was like,
Uh-huh.
come on.
It's
and
it's a lot.
All I'm thinking is, put me in, coach. This is a fucking escape room
Yeah.
with higher stakes. That's all this is.
And I gotta say, I mean, no offense to the Jigsaw Killer.
right.
I've been in more complicated escape rooms.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say
You
all
said the
that,
back
but
of my mind. Well, then I'll look on the.
I'll
Yeah.
look on the back. Let's all check the back of our heads, back of our necks. Is
Right,
anybody's
right.
head shaved? Let's
Uh-huh.
start there.
Let's start
what
with
do we
Abby.
have in common? Let's start with Abby.
Yeah.
What do we have in common?
Yeah.
Right.
Rainbow, Roy G. Biv. I
Yes.
mean, you've
I
given
mean-
us so many hints. And they're
you
all
know
just
what?
like, what?
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
fight about it.
Yes. Fuck.
It's all they do. And I will
So
say,
bad.
we talk about Jigsaw and his morality and everything, and later in the series, it seems like nobody even really has a chance to do anything to escape any of these traps.
Right.
Traps like these, everything is on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want us to be great. Like,
Yeah, like-
you're setting us up to succeed.
You gave us a head start,
Yeah.
and we still fucking tripped on our way out of the gate. But as everyone begins hurling questions at Amanda, Xavier snags a note and a key that were attached to the tape player. The note states, "Do not attempt to use this key on the door to this room." Very clear.
Yeah.
Against Amanda's protests, Xavier and Gus head over to the door to do just that. Xavier says that it's all a joke and he's about to end it. But as Gus peers through the peephole, Xavier puts the key into the lock. We pan from the room into the hallway where we find a loaded revolver attached to gears and aimed precisely into the peephole. Xavier turns the key and the gun goes off, shooting Gus in the eyeball and blowing his brains out. Blood splatters all over Laura and Xavier, and the group screams as his body falls to the floor.
Well,
I mean,
all y'all have to do literally is follow directions.
Yeah.
Do what he says. Don't do what he said. Don't do what Johnny don't does.
how hard is that?
It's not that hard.
I will say the gore looks really good.
Yeah.
I will say though at the same time, like what was Jigsaw's lesson here?
Yeah.
Don't go fucking around with doors. I told you not to fuck around with.
I think listen to me. I
Okay.
think was the lesson here.
Well, they've learned it.
I mean, I feel
clearly.
there were better ways to teach this lesson.
Right.
I would say so.
I mean, smack somebody's hand, don't shoot him in the eyeball.
Yeah.
But,
At least it'll stay on his mind.
You're
Well
good enough
played.
to write for Jigsaw, man.
But Jonas throws Amanda up against the wall, demanding answers. She says that it's a game and he's testing them. When asked who, she tells them Jigsaw.
That's information that could have been useful 5 minutes ago. You waited. I know she's like, don't do it, but you could have said, hey, look, you're going to die.
Uh-huh.
Don't do it. I've been in a Jigsaw trap before.
Well, I mean, and she kind of shook her head like they're gonna be sorry.
Yeah.
Like it was more one of those.
Yeah.
Instead of like, guys, fucking
Yeah.
listen to
One
me.
of you is probably going to die right now.
Yeah, she's like, this is gonna be bad. Some oddly don't recognize the name, but Addison puts it plainly. Jigsaw is a serial killer. Amanda, though, strongly disagrees, saying that he wants them to survive, but they have to play by the rules.
I mean, we dance around a lot of technicalities here, even later, where it's like, I've never killed anyone. It's like, you have. You definitely have.
See, and that pisses me off specifically because in Amanda's trap alone, he just threw a guy in there
Yeah.
to get murdered.
And in this film, this is what I realized, and I couldn't stop laughing after I had watched it. That happens to a much bigger degree.
Yeah.
It really does.
I told you.
Where I'm like, I get it, but John, you did not have to do all this.
And he's like, no, I'm teaching them.
Yeah.
I've never killed anyone.
I'm innocent. My hands are blood free. What are you talking about? But, and that's the other thing is that I'm sorry, but if, say our city has a Jigsaw killer situation, nobody is not going to be talking about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's another
There's
thing
no
too,
way.
is the second that Addison was like, do none of y'all watch the fucking news? I was thinking, do none of y'all watch the fucking news?
Yeah.
As soon as I woke up, I'd be like, fuck, he got me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what I would think.
This is exactly what happened to
But
Blank.
they're like,
You know?
is this jail?
It's like, I
don't think so.
Come on, man. But Jonas asks how Amanda knows all this, and with flashbacks to her in the first film, waking up in the reverse bear trap, she tells them because she's played before.
Sure, Jan.
I mean, she did, though.
I
That's
know,
true.
but it's like, why didn't
didn't
you
you-
tell
yeah.
us?
You just
lead
wouldn't
with
believe
that?
her.
Yeah.
No.
It's like, what was her name? Rhea Reynolds on Nip Tuck.
Oh, yeah. She didn't. She used a bread knife.
You weren't a Carver
You
victim,
fucking
bitch.
liar. But Amanda just stares up at the camera, and we transition back into the surveillance room. There is a little piano cue where you hear the Hello Zepp theme played very lightly.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love to hear it, but it also might be a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
No big deal. I will say that this is a very smart way to handle a sequel to Saw, I think, where you have a mixture of new and old characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Giving Amanda another moment in the sun, especially after her sequence in the first film.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Because that's the iconic shot of the film.
Yeah.
So, I mean, seeing her again, it's like, there's no other way to do this.
Yeah.
I feel like I said, any criticisms that there are, I'm like, like 100%. This is a great sequel to the first one.
I don't know.
The jury's still out.
Yeah.
But Matthews, fed up with watching the monitors, heads back out to speak with Jigsaw. On his way out, Rig requests a tech team to find out where the feed is coming from. But Matthews passes them in with guns aimed at Jigsaw and asks him what he wants from him. Jigsaw tells him only a little of his time. He reminds him that his son is in a lot of danger and tells him his conditions are for everyone else to leave as he only wants to talk to Matthews. Matthews declines this offer, but Jigsaw says that they don't have to leave the building, just the area. If he can just talk to him, he promises Matthews will see his son again. Of course, Matthews threatens violence.
Well, yeah, naturally.
But Jigsaw tells him that he's a cancer patient. He couldn't possibly be in more pain than he's already in. Probably feeling like an asshole at this point.
Which he should.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Matthews retreats back to speak with Carrie and Rigg. Now, there are some objects on the table with Jigsaw, around him, behind him, that are kind of important and foreshadow maybe when certain things are maybe taking place or whatever, but go back and check it out. But Carrie says that the tech team should have a trace in an hour or two, and Matthew tells them what Jigsaw wants. Carrie is down for it, but Rigg isn't. He basically says, give him 5 minutes and a phone book and he'll get to the bottom of this. He calls this the old tried and true method, which is, police brutality.
Yeah.
Right. No, yeah, we'll just whoop his ass.
Until,
Like,
yeah,
okay.
that always works. But Carrie admonishes him, telling him that he's not going to ruin this case that she spent so much time building. Carrie then drops the bomb that we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Saying that Matthews already lost his son once because he had an affair with her, so she's not going to let this happen again.
There it is.
Wow.
It's like, wow, Rigg's like, oh shit, I didn't know that. You guys were...
He's got popcorn out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's like, oh, fuck, man.
Y'all were fucking.
That's why you were staying late at the... God damn it, I should have seen it.
It was right in front of my eyes.
He's like, oh, when you said you were going to bang, I thought you meant the firing range. We are police. But she asks Matthews to just humor Jigsaw and buy them some time, and he agrees. But back at what friend of the show, Sigrid, affectionately calls the nerve gas house party, the group tears apart the room, looking for more clues and replaying Jigsaw's tape. All except for Laura, who is all shook up from the death that she just witnessed. I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
Everybody else seems to just snap into action, but I think I'd need a minute.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no.
Yeah.
You only have 2 hours.
You only have 2 hours. You're already being fucking poisoned.
Right.
I mean, we'll cry in the yard, but we need to fucking, you need to snap into action.
When we're breathing fresh air.
Yeah.
Yes.
But sick of looking at massive head wound Harry, Daniel covers the body with a jacket. Suddenly, though, the massive metal murder door just opens on its own. The group stares at it in disbelief as Xavier inches forward, noticing a timer on the other side that has reached 0. So all they had to do was wait.
Yeah.
If y'all would have spent that time figuring out what you have in common,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
he fucking told you to, the door would have just opened.
It's unbelievable because literally just have a conversation.
Well, that's
Yeah,
it.
no shit.
That's all we're asking. Or all he's asking. I wasn't a part of this.
And I mean, there's already something here because Jonas, every other word out of his mouth is, I've done time. I've
Yes.
been to
Yeah.
prison. This ain't like prison. I've been to prison. That's all he says.
It's like, well, oh, wait a minute.
So if you're like, well,
Yeah.
I've
me
also-
too,
yeah.
has anybody else?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a starting point. That's all we know about this dude, and maybe some of us
Right.
have it in common.
And I mean, there's tons of stuff too. I mean, where are you from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What high school did you go to? I don't
This
know. You know?
just
Or
makes
what's
me-
your last name?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This makes me think of identity, and
Yeah.
now I want to cover identity.
Is your birthday also?
What's everyone's birthday? Tell me right the fuck now.
We'll say it in 1, 2, 3. But Xavier snatches the key from the door and cautiously steps into the hallway, trying it on the first door he sees. It doesn't work, but he spies a baseball bat in the corner of the hall, which is filled with nails. It looks like fucking Lucille.
Yeah.
But he snags it as the rest of the group creeps out of the room. He tells them that he's going to find the antidote and get the fuck out of here. Jonas doesn't believe that there's even an antidote, but he says they should at least come together to come up with some kind of game plan. It's sad to me because we watch as two kind of dominant personalities. One, a fucking hot-headed, like, ridiculous human being.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other, the calm,
He's the voice of reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the squeaky wheel, man.
Yeah.
Of course.
Who's gonna get that grease?
Yeah.
I say the one with the bat with the nails in it.
I would, do whatever he says.
I was gonna say I would have grabbed the bat too.
Oh yeah,
I understand, and I do get it. Let's go. We need to do this quick, but we don't need to rush.
And
we should have talked and at least real quick. Let's get a name check or let's whatever.
He's mean.
No,
He
well,
Like,
yeah,
he's
I'm sure
very
he's afraid.
aggressive.
From jump, yeah, and that fear is making him.
I'm sure he's afraid. They're all. That would be terrifying.
Oh,
We're
God,
all
yeah.
scared, man. All of us.
Just give him a hug. But as we said, Xavier, not at all a team player, says that while they do that, he's getting out of here. He heads off on his own into a large room to find a door marked exit.
I mean, honestly, I know that escape rooms are a great team building exercise.
Uh-huh.
But this dude's already gotten somebody killed. I'm kind of like, just let him go.
Hold on, though. I mean, yeah,
He did.
No, he didn't tell that guy to look through his
I mean,
people.
he didn't need to be all what these buttons do and stick his eye up to the thing. But
Well, can I ask what he expected to see? Like,
he's like, oh, it's an exit sign.
if I look at the people and I don't see anything, it's a
No,
bump.
yeah, move.
It
Just
doesn't
get
work.
out of the way.
No,
Yeah. I'll just keep looking.
Yeah.
Maybe it's attached to the key.
Yeah.
He did get him killed, I think. So I'm like, you go on, maybe we'll figure something out, and then we can find you and be like, listen, what's your birthday?
But down the hall, Addison finds a flashlight, but is overcome by a coughing fit, which ends with her spitting out a mouthful of blood onto the floor. So when that happened, I was like, well, there goes my first theory.
Yeah.
I thought that it was going to be that there wasn't actually any poison at all.
He's like,
Right.
oh no, we're poisoning.
Yeah, we're like, no, we have fucked you up bad. We are pumping this in.
Where do you get that?
I don't know, some guy.
Bob Sacamano.
Yeah. He sells rat hats and nerve gas. But Laura follows Amanda as she meticulously checks every bit of the walls in the hallway for, I guess, maybe like a hollow noise or something. But most of the group ends up in the exit room with Xavier. He tries the key on the door, even though the group tells him not to. But when it doesn't work, he throws it to the ground. Jonas, though, quietly scoops it up, which probably won't be important later.
Not at
Yeah.
all. But we're still going to need this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna
Even
say,
if it didn't work on this
I'd have
door.
done the same shit. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
pocket this.
be
That's-
mad,
yeah.
throw it away. Like that's, I don't know. I don't like that. I'm starting to not like this guy.
But back in Jigsaw's workshop, Rigg clears the room of officers, leaving only Matthews as Jigsaw requested. He tells him to sit down, and once he does, tells him that he wants to play a game. All Matthews has to do is sit here, talk to him, and listen to him. If he's able to do that, he will find his son in a safe, secure state.
Now you keep saying that.
Yeah.
You keep using that
I
phrase.
don't know if you understand. But Matthews slyly lowers his radio to the floor to allow Carrie and Rigg to listen from the surveillance room. Jigsaw then politely introduces himself as John, saying the name Jigsaw was a moniker given to him by the police and the press. The piece he carves was only meant to be a symbol that his test subjects were missing a vital piece of the human puzzle, the survival instinct.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay, John.
or that your traps are rigged.
Yeah.
But okay. Matthews tries to redirect the conversation back to his son, but Jigsaw shuts it down, reminding him that he needs to listen and to not forget the rules. They mentioned on commentary, Tobin Bell already in Saw 2 was already starting to have a little bit of input. He chose all the books that were on his desk that were about engineering and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because he's like, this is John.
Well,
Yeah,
he would.
you know.
I mean, he'd kind of need to
Well,
be
yeah.
brushing up on shit.
That's true. Well, and I remember you said on Saw, episode 29, that eventually in the series, it got to the point where he was just writing his own dialogue.
Yeah.
Because he's
Really?
like, John wouldn't say that. But Matthews says that he is listening, but it's all the same shit that he's heard a million times. Jigsaw then criticizes his interviewing skills, calling for a friendlier approach.
I mean, it couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Matthews says that it's hard to follow the manual when he's kidnapped his son, which is a fair statement.
It is.
But Jigsaw's like, the manual, huh? What would you like to do to me right now? And he asks what he would have done
What are we?
Sexual?
What would you do if I was there? If I was in the dungeon with you?
What would you do if I showed you my ankle?
I'm in a torturous escape room without me. Sad face.
He's like, don't kill anyone. You're so cute. But he asks Matthews what he would have done 5 years ago. Broken his jaw with a flashlight? Matthews is like, all right, you've been looking into my file.
Yeah.
That was a little too specific. Too loud and too specific.
But Jigsaw reminds him that he used to be a fearless police officer and asks if he feels much safer now behind a desk. I don't know why a desk job to police is like, motherfucker! Like, they fucking hate it. But I feel like it would be, I would much rather have
I would love it.
Yeah, give me all the paperwork in the world. Come on. But Matthews says that he's feeling a lot of things right now, and Jigsaw counters that he's feeling alive, which is the entire point. He then takes an empty cup and asks Matthews to kindly fill it with water. He says he would really appreciate it.
Bitch.
Like, I've been talking a lot. This felt like a power play, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'd fill it up, throw it in his face.
Oh.
Like, oh, here you go.
It's like,
this is what you're not supposed to be doing.
You are breaking the rules.
He's a little dry. It's like, all right, man.
He's
I'm
a
listening.
little dry.
It's like, there's no lotion here. I'll just throw a cup of water in his face. But Matthews reluctantly does take the cup to go fill it. I did hear on commentary that the entire thing with the cup, the power play that we're talking about, was Tobin Bell's idea.
It works very well.
It was funny because Bousman was like, and then when it happened on set, Donnie got mad, and Donnie's like, I didn't get mad. I was like, I think you got mad.
I think that's just how Wahlberg's talking.
Yeah, maybe. He did say I dear a lot, which I thought was very cool.
That's great.
But back at that nerve gas house party, Xavier attempts to smash through the front door, only to find a metal gate in front of the broken pieces of wood. He screams in anger as Addison declares that his macho bullshit didn't open the door. Xavier tells her that the only door she knows how to open is between her legs, and he says so with a very awkward flourish.
It was a lot. That's not a door.
No.
This was a lot. I read that he was told to improvise that line.
Yeah.
And they kept doing it, and he kept getting cruder every time, and they thought that this was funny, so that's what they picked.
Oh, well.
I was like, yeah, okay, funny's a word for it. Yeah. Okay, all right.
I remember being 14 in the theater being like, that's a door?
Yeah.
That's a door?
That's a door? But an argument breaks out, but thankfully Jonas is there to break it up. He's, I really like Jonas.
He's the voice of reason that nobody's listening to.
Unfortunately. But Amanda and Laura finally make it into the room, Amanda switching on the light as she heads in, and Abby follows close behind them. As Amanda and Laura look around, Jonas tries to figure out the connection that they all share that brought them here. Just as he finds out that he, Addison, and Xavier did time behind bars, Laura finds a secret door near the stairs, interrupting the conversation. I don't know. You can still talk. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No shit.
I have a lot of feelings, thoughts, and prayers about Laura. To sum it up, I'm not a fan.
Oh, fair enough. Is the prayers because of Seventh Heaven?
Yeah.
But Xavier snatches the flashlight from Addison and they head downstairs. Once in the basement, they make their way through the dark, Amanda bringing up the rear and slowly joining them. They soon stumble upon what appears to be a slumped-over person, but after lifting it, they find out that it's a mannequin wearing a mask. A letter is stabbed into its chest, addressed to Abby. I initially thought this was a corpse.
It looks creepy as fuck, and I laughed out loud because when they reveal it, somebody goes, "Oh shit!"
Well, I mean, it's creepy.
Yeah.
And Jigsaw, in all fairness, does have a shit ton of mannequins knocking about at the old castle.
Well, I'm sure he's got to test out all his fucking traps.
That's true.
That's true. So this is like a crash test dummy.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But Xavier snags the note, asking, what the fuck is an Obi? Abby corrects him on the pronunciation, saying it's his name, but fucking Xavier just opens it anyway.
It's clearly an envelope with something written on it. Like, why would... why would you not assume, okay, who's, even if you're pronouncing it wrong, who's Obi?
Yeah.
This is for, he's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, I just cannot stand him.
It's like, you're already angry?
Yeah.
You're mad at an envelope? Dude, Jesus Christ. This isn't going to go well.
That's my thing too. The characters, I'm like, oh my God. I was like, what is happening here?
And also, Abi's like, oh, that's me. But like, he doesn't even really give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't seem concerned that his name is on this or.
One thing that does it doesn't bug me about this film, but they said that they had designed traps for all 8 of them.
Right.
And as we continue to explore through the house, we see maybe, 4 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do wonder what was left.
I would have liked to see that because, to be completely honest, when shit starts moving, it feels very rushed at the end to me.
Uh-huh.
One trap in particular, it's just like, we'll be back to, get dinner later or whatever. And then we don't come back.
No.
It's okay. I get that things are moving very quickly.
Right.
We need to get to a point, but it feels a little phoned in toward the end.
I can understand that. There's that nostalgic pull that I'm like, I think I got to defend this film. I don't know why I still enjoy it.
I get it completely because I'm talking shit the entire time.
Me
but at
too.
the end of the day, I'm going to watch this again. And I still have fun watching it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, when you look closer, a lot of this shit makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. That's why, again, do not.
Yeah.
But in the envelope addressed to Abi, it's a tape, and so he pops it into the player. Jigsaw says, "Hello, Obi." It's like,
Yeah.
I get no respect. But Jigsaw says that Abi has burned countless people with his deceit, but now he has the chance to redeem himself. The group surrounds a casket-shaped device, and Jigsaw says inside of it there are 2 antidotes. One is Abi's, a gift from Jigsaw for helping him kidnap the others. Everyone takes notice of that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, right the fuck under the bus.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh,
God
yeah.
damn. Wait, so you're telling me that you're going to fucking kill Michael for being a snitch? But
Yeah.
Okay, again,
you're like, thanks for the help, man.
as we go on, his intentions get muddier and muddier and muddier to me.
Yeah.
But he still didn't have to put him on blast like that.
No, in front of everyone.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't say, go listen to this privately, Obi.
No, yeah.
For your ears only.
Yeah, god damn. But the second antidote is his to donate, but Jigsaw warns that one of them will come with a price. He tells him to remember, once you're in hell, only the devil can help you out.
He doesn't say shit just to say shit.
Yeah.
No.
We should have learned this already in the first room that we were in. Listen to the weird shit that he says because it's gonna make sense later.
The rules are there. Like that's.
It's infuriating to be honest.
I am not encouraging anyone to say, kidnap me or anything like that. But I feel like I could really rock this thing, man.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot
Put
of
me
them,
in, coach.
Yeah.
Pay attention. That's it.
But once the tape ends, Abi is immediately confronted by everyone. He says that he doesn't know what Jigsaw is talking about, but unfortunately for him, Laura's also got that Suspiria memory,
Yeah.
I was just about to say that.
and she flashes back to Abi using chloroform on her in her car. Now, he does kiss her on the cheek, which,
Okay, so John, I think, has a habit of getting involved with fucking creeps because didn't Zepp do some weird shit
yes,
too?
he did.
It's like, this was not part of the deal, Blackheart. Just do the work.
Yeah.
Don't fucking be weird.
And as I've stated before, chloroform takes about 5 minutes
Yes.
to take effect.
It's not
so-
chloroform, it's Dexter stuff. I thought we established that.
Oh, my bad.
It's just a towel full of it. And that's one thing that I did learn. I can't remember what movie did it right, but they say that chloroform burns your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking pretty beautiful to me.
Yeah.
They never put that part in the movies. I also have a question about the antidote because these people are all different sizes.
Right.
Xavier's a fucking beast.
Uh-huh.
This antidote is going to work perfectly for everyone?
Yes. Okay. That's all. That's all I've got.
Thank you for clearing that
No
up.
problem. That is why I was thinking, like, whenever he was talking about the antidote on the first message,
Right.
I was like, I don't think that they're really being poisoned. But when homegirl's coughing up blood,
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, maybe.
Never mind.
pretty sure that's
She's
related.
like, no, I just do this. I have tuberculosis.
But Jonas asks if Laura is sure, and she says that she is. Abby says that he did what he had to do, and they would have done the exact same thing.
Explain. Why did you
Yeah.
have to do this? He's just like, look, I don't fucking care. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
even try to
Yeah.
explain himself.
Because fucking Jigsaw I would not put it past him to kidnap someone's kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was gonna, kill my mom or
Yeah.
kill my daughter
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. But he's just like, look, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And
No.
it's just so casual about it. I don't
Right,
understand.
they were gonna cancel my Netflix. I had to pay for it.
You know how fucking
You
expensive
would-
that is?
You would have done the same fucking
Right, we
thing.
can't share passwords anymore.
Yeah, no. Ozark is ending. But Xavier pulls the knife from the mannequin and threatens Abby with it as Laura breaks a bottle, screaming that he got them in here so he can get them out. Abby says that he can't, and Xavier says Abby is a dead man, and Abby's like, well, you are too, man.
No, we're all kind of in the dead
we're all
boat.
gonna die.
Yeah.
My thing, though, I just would feel a little more defensive because he did throw him right the fuck under the bus.
Yeah.
Explain why you did what you did or why.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I had to. Why did you have to?
Yeah, because what if it is a good reason?
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, it's the same thing for Xavier, even. You're outnumbered. Any one of them is outnumbered. We could whoop anybody's ass. We
Absolutely.
could kill any one of them. So I'd be like, no. Like, we have one more antidote if we kill you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you put us here, we kind of have good reason to kill you.
Yeah.
I don't understand the scene at all.
I will say that the motivations of characters remain unclear.
They don't get any clearer.
Not so much, except for Jigsaw, I believe his plans are. But Xavier charges after Abby, but Addison stops him, reminding him of the two antidotes inside that device. Jonas is skeptical of what's inside those syringes, but Addison, who coughs up even more blood, is willing to risk it. Daniel asks who would even get the antidotes, and Xavier says that they'll work that out later. Just then, Laura falls to her knees from the whole, being poisoned thing, and Amanda goes to check on her. Xavier puts the knife to Abby's throat, saying if he doesn't climb into the device, he'll kill him right here, right now. Abby, unfazed, drags the knife across his throat, cutting himself. Xavier gasps.
Abby's like, I like that shit.
Yeah, so don't threaten me with a good time.
Right.
Because isn't he like, if you're going to threaten me, don't you want
Carter
to cut
Daddy.
me a little?
He's like, oh,
Yeah. Oh my God.
Xavier's like, fuck,
Yeah.
fuck.
I honestly think it's a pretty cool moment.
It is.
It was the idea of the actor
Right.
who played Abby.
Oh, I like
Okay.
that.
Which is interesting. But personally, I think this is a great tactic. Like if you're gonna get into a fight with someone and they start punching themselves in the face, like you know what I mean? Like I don't want to fight that guy anymore.
It's like you took all the fun out of it, man.
Yeah, he's gonna like chew my face off or something. But Xavier looks shook as a crook about to be booked. But Abby says that he'll go inside, but he gets one of the needles. He opens the door and slowly crawls across a metal grate. At the end of the device is a window, but hanging above are two syringes. He grabs one for himself without incident, but when he grabs the second one, the door he crawled in slams shut. Fire is lit from underneath, beginning at the door and encroaching further across the metal grate. Abby tries to kick the door open, and Xavier, to his credit, does his best to try to open the door.
Yeah.
For the antidote. He wasn't opening it for Abby.
He's like, my good friend Abby.
But I mean, in all fairness, I know you guys said it a minute ago, and I know this isn't the last time we're gonna say it, but look at the door. There was a fucking pulley on the door.
There's a lot of...
There's
it's
more.
right- yeah.
There's more.
Yeah, I totally agree. There are so many ways out of these fucking traps. It's a wonder that anybody dies.
Yeah.
You had to really. This is like Tucker and Dale.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like, you started...
y'all are doing this to
Yes.
yourselves at this
See,
point.
I'm starting to agree with Jigsaw now.
But you can see it. The incinerator looks old.
Yes.
That pulley does not.
Right.
That doesn't belong
Clearly, it's Jigsaw.
Right.
Like, I mean, come on, man.
He's like, look, dude, right here.
Use this.
The whole thing is just ridiculous because even when he pulls the second syringe, he's like, man, you're not scared. You know that there's more to this than this.
And if there's one thing we've learned from horror movies, if you're in peril, never laugh.
Or be like, phew,
shit.
that was a close one.
That's how you get a ladder into the eyeball or whatever. But Abby screams, his legs now on fire, and crawls to the corner of the furnace. Through the flames, he sees a drawing of the devil on the wall, pointing to a red faucet spout and saying, "Turn this."
And didn't the tape be like, trust the devil or whatever?
Yeah.
God damn it. Like y'all are working overtime to
I'm
fucking...
so mad right now.
Oh, yeah.
So ridiculous.
And I don't know why, but instead of he already has his legs all burned up.
Yeah.
Instead of reaching through the fire, he just whimpers in a corner.
Yeah, no, whatever the devil's pointing to, I'm going to turn it. Or I'm touching it.
You said he was my friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Jonas and Xavier try to open the door, but to no avail. Daniel directs them to the window on the other side, and Jonas tells Abby that they're going to get him out. Abby slams his hand onto the window, which kind of jump scares Jonas. He seems like he doesn't recover from that. But Xavier breaks the glass with his bat, and Abby is able to get his head and right arm out, but he screams in pain as he continues to burn alive. Amanda turns away, unable to watch as Abby slowly dies.
And Laura, she's crouched down crying, going, stop it, stop it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think any of us want to be here?
They're
No
like,
shit.
Sorry, we'll hit the button to...
Yeah. Oh, you don't like this?
Can we get a hint?
No matter what happens, I'm not giving her an antidote because
No.
you're offering nothing.
Yeah.
But she is taking it the hardest.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
You
I
just
don't
wanted
know.
to stab that dude a minute ago, too.
That is, that's
Breaking
true.
bottles and shit.
Yeah.
Where's that energy?
Yeah, it's gone. One thing that was a little funny to me, and you can watch it because it is... I don't know why they use this tape.
Yeah.
Maybe just because of the low budget. They're like, we got to get this done.
Yeah.
But whenever Abby reaches his hand out when the glass is broken, he pokes Jonas in the eyeball.
Oh, wow.
And you see that for the rest of the scene, Jonas is covering his eye. It's like, you really couldn't?
Yeah, you couldn't
They
have
probably had
waited
to
or
use it.
redone that.
He's like, I'm not fucking doing this again.
No, he's like, my eye, man. I only got 2 of those. One thing that it was very weird on commentary, Bousman was like, and the fire, believe it or not, was all CG. No, it wasn't.
I thought they really burned him up.
Yeah. It's like on a featurette, they show that it was operational. It was real fire. They even talked about the stunt man that was in there.
Wow.
I was like, you directed this movie. How do you...
Well, he's not really a take charge.
I could see the wheels in JP's head turning.
We hive-minded them.
That was pretty fantastic. He passed it. It was an alley-oop. But Xavier rushes over to Abby's corpse, yelling into his dead ear that he wants the needles, but they're gone. Amanda grabs an oar from the shelf, remarking that Abby had a choice before heading back upstairs. Back in the surveillance room, Carrie and Rig watch on the monitors, Rig furious that another person has died. Carrie says that they're doing exactly what they should be doing, but Rig disagrees. At the talking table, Jigsaw starts talking survival of the fittest and Charles Darwin and whatnot, but Matthews is over it. He slams his fist on the table, saying that he can't give Jigsaw what he wants if he doesn't tell him what it is. But Jigsaw reiterates, remember the rules. He just asked,
I told you what I want.
Sit here and talk to me.
Listen to me fucking ramble.
Yeah.
He's an old man. They love that.
It's like, people, I haven't been visited in a long time.
Listen to him.
Matthews says that Jigsaw's words mean absolutely nothing, but Jigsaw asks him what he thinks the cure for cancer is. He says it's not killing and torturing people, but Jigsaw pulls that Charles Manson card saying that he's never killed anyone.
Stop that.
Yeah.
He's like, some of us torture people, some of us make meth. Like, we all deal with it in different ways.
But Matthews says that he's forcing them to kill themselves, but Jigsaw asks since when was force a problem for him?
Here you go bringing up old shit.
Yeah.
Matthews is like, oh yeah, all that stuff I did. But Jigsaw asks what the last thing he said to Daniel was, and we get a replay of, well then go!
Yeah.
But I'm like, y'all didn't say a word to each other in the car?
Yeah. It's like, now, I do love you, son. No, none of that? All right. But Jigsaw ponders why people are only willing to act when a life is at stake. But Matthews says that he's always loved his son. Jigsaw posits that death changes everything. If you were to know the date and time of your death, it would shatter your world. And he knows that firsthand.
Well, hell yeah, it would.
I don't see how it wouldn't.
Anybody it would.
But he says it like he's special. He's like, you couldn't handle being fucking John Kramer. But we get a flashback of John Kramer receiving the news at the hospital that he has cancer. We also see a sign on the door of Dr. Lawrence Gordon.
They're like, y'all remember?
Yeah. From the first flick. But we see John sat in his car after receiving the news. Jigsaw saying that you perceive everything differently. Savor everything once thought mundane. Matthews reminds him that the clock is ticking. He's like, my son is in a fucking poison house. But Jigsaw says that a lot of people have the luxury of not knowing when their time will run out. This prevents them from appreciating all the little things in life. Matthews says that Jigsaw can still fix this, but Jigsaw turns it around. But can we fix you? Matthews says Jigsaw is just using his cancer as an excuse to kill people, but Jigsaw disagrees. He says it wasn't until he tried to take his own life that he realized how important life was. In a flashback, we see that he drove himself off a cliff, and he pulls himself from the wreckage, ripping a piece of metal from his abdomen.
I was like, oh, leave that in there. Don't do that.
That's bad medical advice to rip that out. The thing is that they said that was supposed to be way more gruesome.
Yeah.
They said that in the director's cut, which I guess I don't have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is way too much. But they said you see intestines. I'm like, come on, man.
God damn.
Yeah.
You
And I
didn't
was
need to do all
completely
that.
fine. He was all kick flipping in the first
So I put some Neosporin on there. You'd be surprised. But Jigsaw survived, and he said that he was determined to test others to see if they had the same will. But he asks if Matthews understands, but exhausted, Matthews just asks where his son is. Jigsaw tells him he doesn't understand. People who don't appreciate life don't deserve it. He asks Matthews if he appreciates his or his son's, and Matthews just calls the whole thing horse shit and storms off.
Don't leave.
No.
Yeah.
Jigsaw's like, don't forget the rules.
He's only told you to do one thing.
Yeah.
Like, just do it.
Of all the games we've ever seen, this is the easiest.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, am I supposed to feel bad for him, or am I supposed to be like, you kill those people and my son? It's all right. I mean,
And
John,
my son.
you've been through a lot.
Yeah.
I understand. I do appreciate the backstory.
right.
And it kind of makes his motivations and like his grudge against everyone
Yeah.
a little more clear.
Right.
But yeah, if you have my son and he's slowly being poisoned to death, I really don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that one of the Hannibal movies? I just remember it from when they spoofed it on South Park.
He's like, do you see?
Exactly, yeah.
That's Red
Showing all
Dragon.
that- yes.
Yeah.
But that's what this feels like. He's
It's like, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
my son's coughing up blood.
We can hurry this
Yeah.
along a little bit.
But back at the house, Amanda continues searching around, but Laura is in and out of consciousness. Daniel checks on her, and Laura touches his hand, lamenting all the things that she'll never get to do if she dies here.
They zoomed in on the hand touch.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what are we?
Well, she had said on commentary, she said, when I read that in the script, I'm like, am I supposed to
Yeah.
be in love with this kid now?
Yeah, this like what 16-year-old
Yeah.
kid? It's
Come
like,
on, man.
Let's reel it in a little bit.
You already got Abby kissing people. It's enough. But Daniel promises her that this isn't it and asks Amanda how she survived her previous game. He says the fact that she survived means that they can too. And she's like, yeah.
So, right now,
Uh-huh.
we all feel really shitty. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Girls coughing up blood. My skin's a little splotchy. You
Uh-huh.
know what I mean? But you, there's nothing wrong with you.
Yes. And
That's the real question. Why?
I think it's because she has a very high tolerance to whatever this
poison.
is. Yeah.
She was born with the high poison tolerance.
Yeah. She's actually a superhero. We'll get to that later.
Right. That's the armor she's wearing protects her from
the scrubs. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
The scrubs. But I did, because even the first time we watched it, I was like, man, fucking Addison is coughing up blood.
Yeah.
People are well. In all fairness, she did puke when she woke up, but that just might have been from
that was fear
she
puke.
She drank the night before.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah.
that was fear puke.
But not
poison.
Not one cough.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. But Amanda snags some rope she found from under the couch and heads towards the stairs. Daniel asks why Jigsaw picked her, and she says because she was a junkie, or a drug addict.
A drug addict, yes.
As we were told. But in a flashback, we see her shooting up as distorted music plays in the background.
Okay, the used.
Yeah.
I see you, even though it was 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, literally, it was enough to catch it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
It's sound effects and over dramatics. Guys, remember the use? But Daniel asks why she's back here if she passed her test, and we see that, unfortunately, Amanda has been engaging in self-harm.
I am like, immediately, because when we left her, she was like, he saved my life, I'm reborn, this and that. What happened between then and now?
They've not explained it.
Right.
Yeah.
But she says that it started in jail after she was arrested for possession, which confuses Daniel because she said she's been clean.
Yeah.
But she tells him to talk to the cop who arrested her.
At this point, if you're Daniel, aren't you like, fuck?
Yeah.
Dude is talking about prison every 30 seconds. This dude has been to prison. She said she's been to prison. You got arrested by a dirty cop. I'm the son of a dirty cop. Aren't you? I mean, wouldn't you have put it together?
Oh, yeah.
Like, have we tried that exit a second time?
Yeah.
Cops fucking suck, right?
Yeah, I fucking hate the cops.
Can you imagine being like a child of one?
Yeah. I hate my dad.
I've been puking too. I hate my dad.
He's like, what? Huh? Nothing?
That doesn't mean anything.
I hate your dad.
But Daniel takes it completely in the wrong direction. He's like, well, I've never been arrested.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, we all have something in common. And if they've all been to prison, but you haven't, maybe you have a cop in common.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Daniel.
This is when he says, my dad's, and Amanda gives a look. A little too sly. Probably means nothing. But he says that his dad's just a real hard ass.
Yeah.
And he's probably got the whole city looking for him.
He's like, because he can do that, because he's a
he's a cock, man. He is such a cock.
Did you just learn how to cuss, kid?
Yeah, what the hell? I understand you're 16, but Jesus Christ. You know, what's funny is his dad's a detective, so he is a dick.
Yeah.
But Amanda turns to head upstairs, but is jump scared by Jonas, who tells her that they found a door and leads her to it.
Jonas stumbles into the frame like he just got bit by a zombie. I was like, what are you doing?
I don't know why. And again, I remember being a kid and being like, oh my God. But it's not even a good jump scare.
And he's like, no, guys, over here.
Yeah.
Don't come.
Safety this way.
Yeah.
Like, what? But Daniel helps Laura upstairs as Xavier and Addison argue over who should try to get the door open. Xavier coughs blood into his hand, which only increases his anger and urgency. Amanda tells him that if it's difficult to get into, it's probably a trap, but Xavier continues to push the door.
She's like, when you come into the escape room, they say not to force or break anything. So
if you have to lift above your head. But we see that it's attached to a cable overhead, and cables are always bad in the Saw world. So we finally bust it open, snapping the cable and starting a timer on a large metal door across from them, counting down from 3 minutes.
That's nothing.
Yeah. No.
And then what we find that the task is, John, this is impossible.
Again, he's like, how are we going to fuck these people up?
Yeah.
Like there was no... And I think what pisses me off the most about this one, because then honestly, it's the most visceral and most iconic trap in the whole film.
Yeah.
But the timer's already started. We haven't even listened to the goddamn tape yet.
Yeah. And then you are a little long-winded.
Yes.
And
with your metaphors and fucking...
Is this really a trap or is it more just like a pit?
It's more just torture.
Yeah. Right.
It's probably his least creative.
Right, it's a little lazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Abby got like an escape hatch and shit that he ignored. This is really just a pit.
But as Xavier tries to break open the metal door, Jonas finds an envelope marked for Xavier. It's another tape, so he pops it into the player. Jigsaw tells Xavier that he wants to play a game similar to the one he's been playing as a drug dealer, offering hope to the desperate for a price. Now, I believe this film was originally called The Desperate, so they might not have changed that at all.
He's like, I'm keeping that line in. But this is the part that Lyric Bent had auditioned for. The guy that plays Rig.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, no, it's kind of shitty to make a black man a drug dealer because it's stereotypical. But yeah, we'll cast a Puerto Rican dude, no problem.
Yeah. I feel like
I was like, I see where y'all are going with that. That's good. But
yeah.
At the same time,
that is the most half-assed shit I've ever heard.
I mean, it is. And then other dude too, he's talking about he's a convict and he's a black man. It's like,
maybe they're like, we can only have one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels a little misguided.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why they would do that.
Speechless.
Yeah.
No, like I'm saying, I feel like the intention, it's like, okay, I see you, but then it just kind of falls flat.
But Jigsaw says that he's offering him hope, but he must crawl through the same pit that he forces his customers into. This is when Daniel notices a bed at the center of the room. He removes a blanket to reveal the springs underneath. Jigsaw says that they'll have to find a key to open the door and retrieve the antidote inside, but if they don't, the door will stay locked forever. He says he'll give them a clue where to find the key, and as he says this, Xavier tosses the bed to reveal a pit filled with syringes.
Dirty syringes.
Yeah.
They're filthy. Jigsaw says it'll be like finding a needle in a haystack. With 1 minute left on the timer, Jigsaw laughs at his own pun and says, let the game begin. The game's already started.
Yeah, no shit.
And this isn't a game.
No.
There's nothing creative about this whatsoever.
No. What if we filled a hole with a lot of needles?
Yeah.
It's like, what? Jigsaw, you're really slipping.
You're already running out of ideas.
Yeah. On commentary, they had said originally it was meant to be a bathtub and they would just reach their arm inside.
Yeah.
But Lee Winnell was like, it's got to be bigger than a fucking bathtub. Which is funny because I think that in the Saw video game, they used a toilet filled with syringes to find shit and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, which is even smaller than a bathtub. Yeah. But they said that they had filled the pit with 1,000 needles at first. They were each safety checked. They removed the needle and put a fiber optic tip in. And they hired 4 people on the production specifically to do this.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
But whenever they put the 1,000 in, it didn't even fill a fraction of the hole. And so they ended up using 130,000.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And they said even then it wasn't completely full. So they had to put like styrofoam and shit underneath it.
Damn, that's nuts.
It's unbelievable.
Really, you could have done that anyway. You could have filled it halfway
true.
with styrofoam and then halfway with the needles.
They're like, why are we doing this?
That's an odd choice.
It really is. They did say, though, that they used a few real needles for close-ups.
Yeah.
And accidentally on one shot, they knocked some of them into the pit.
Oh, my God.
No.
Yeah. And so they had to pause production to literally find a needle.
That guy got fired.
Oh, yeah. He was,
Whoops.
wait, so these go here, right?
Yeah.
Craig, no! But Xavier, the fucking asshole that he is, refuses to play his own game, and instead he grabs Amanda, picking her up and throwing her into the pit. Now I've heard of a needle drop, but this is...
Nah. All right, Jigsaw.
I learned from the best.
It's gruesome, honestly, and then her reaction to it is horrifying.
I think that her performance, it's fantastic here, I thought.
Yeah.
But now with several syringes poking into her bare arms and body, Amanda screams in pain, moving her hand through the clanking glass, slowly in search of the key. As the clock counts down from 30 seconds, Amanda frantically tears through the pile, screaming in misery as no one offers to help.
Not a one.
Like, period.
I think Daniel's like, oh, we're not going to help her? It's like, you're also just standing
Go
here.
ahead, kid. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, hop in. Now, one thing I will say, again, everybody else is not, but Amanda has been barefoot the entire time.
Yeah.
And we throw her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate. You're right. Xavier's. This guy's a real jerk.
Yeah.
Just bad vibes.
Absolutely.
There's something about him I don't like.
We'll put our finger on it. But with seconds to spare, she finds the key, slamming it down on the floorboards above her. Xavier picks it up, fucking butterfingers it, and runs out of time before he can unlock the door. Daniel helps Amanda out of the pit, syringes sticking out of her whole body. Xavier then bangs his head against the door in frustration as Daniel starts to remove those needles. But Xavier then goes over to, I guess, fight Amanda or something.
I'm like, you're mad?
Yeah.
You dropped it.
Yes.
I did my part.
Yes. The hardest part.
Yeah.
After reacting to the shock of being fucking thrown in here, this is when I'm like, okay, I see the muscles. I see that you're a large human. We could band together and fuck you up. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we'll stand on each other's shoulders if we have to. There's no fucking way, and they're just letting him do this.
Yeah. See, and I think that's the problem is I don't ever want to follow a person who appoints themselves the leader.
Yeah.
Because that to me is like, that's fucking you.
Yeah, you
have something, you know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
You got something.
Yeah. And it's not good, that's something. It made more sense in my head. But Jonas breaks up the fight, so nothing happens, and Addison screams for them to stop, asking if they heard the tape. She says that Jigsaw does know something about them. Laura also joins the party, shambling into the room like a zombie.
She's so annoying.
Yeah.
And then her delivery of this annoyed me even more. Go ahead.
Yeah. Addison says that there's something that they're not seeing, and Laura tells them that she was also in jail, which brings the total to 4, 5 if you count Amanda as well.
But the way she's like, y'all have all been to jail.
Well,
me too. Bitch, we don't care about you. We don't even know you. Why are you acting like...
Yeah, Laura's been to... Weren't you dying in the hallway? What the fuck happened to that?
I thought we dropped you off back there.
You're still alive.
Yeah, that was your final resting place.
The way she says it, it's like everyone's supposed to clutch their pearls.
Right.
Okay, we're fucking dying, dude.
Yeah.
Enough with the dramatics. You could have said that when we all said it.
Right.
Amanda's like, I'm a fucking porcupine. And you're saying this shit. But the conversation hits a standstill when Daniel says that he's never been to jail. Xavier is over it, though, telling them that the only thing they have in common is holding him back, and storms out.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. But my thing, if I'm Daniel, I've been like, I just got out of prison last night. Like, wouldn't you be like, yeah, no, I've been to lots of jails, lots of times. I'm a junkie too. Like,
don't you guys hate like the bars and stuff?
You know, the bars feel like a bag of sand.
Have you ever been to jail, man?
But wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, you guys, nope, not me. And he even gave him an out. You have juvie written all over you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's all you had to say. Yeah.
It's like, man, I'm banned from that Circuit City, remember?
And when he was going to say it, Amanda looked at him.
She
said,
did.
Shut up.
Yeah.
So I would, I would have been like, yeah, I'm a troublemaker.
Yeah. I just don't, I don't know, man. Kids, what are they? But through the security feed, Matthews grows impatient that the tech team hasn't arrived yet. Rigg is over Jigsaw's manifesto, but Carrie says that he's just playing a game and that Matthews needs to stay in there longer. The only problem is that they're down to 30 minutes left.
You guys wasted a lot of time.
Dude, you had an hour and 47, roughly.
About.
Yeah. But Carrie gets a new idea after looking at Jigsaw's plans and notes. What he wants is to be studied and remembered, threaten to destroy his work, and that'll take him from midnight to 6. Matthews mulls it over, and we get frantic shots of an imaginary freakout before he snags a ton of paperwork, bringing it over to Jigsaw and ripping it up in front of him. The freakout was a bit much.
Yeah.
It was. And I'm like, isn't this evidence? It's like,
Yeah.
Dude, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You're a horrible
Yeah.
cop.
Jigsaw does not care because he is just destroying evidence. He's like,
Yeah.
you're making it easier.
You're doing me a favor.
My lawyer thanks you.
Yeah.
But he says that none of this will save his son, and this is when Jigsaw goes in on him. He says Matthews is the type of person who shoots unarmed suspects, plants evidence to get convictions, and he's the sort of person whose wife leaves him and whose son hates him. It was like, oh my God.
He went in professionally. He went in personally.
But Matthews kindly tells him to shut the fuck up just as the tech team arrives to find the source of the feed. But Jigsaw says that he has something to show Matthews and asks the people listening in on the walkie-talkie to go get it for him.
It's like, oh, he knew it was there?
Oh, shit. Yeah. He says that it's in a brown desk, second drawer down. So Carrie walks over to a silver desk and somehow, through sheer tyranny of will, finds the file that he was talking about.
She opens the door and it just explodes. Yeah. I said the brown desk.
Yeah, God damn it. Rules. Follow the rules. But Jigsaw says that Matthews may not remember all the people in the file, but he's sure that they remember him. Matthews rushes over to the surveillance room and snatches the photo from Carrie, as Jigsaw says that Matthews was the arresting officer on all of these cases and planted evidence to get convicted. Yes, folks, as it turns out, Daniel is in a house full of people wrongly convicted because of his father.
Oh my God. You planted evidence every time.
Dude, yes.
Yeah.
They're like, this is starting to get...
That's fucking crazy.
The judge is like, you again? Like, what the fuck?
This really, I'm not gonna lie, this hurt the movie for me a lot. I was like, come on,
there's
dude.
a lot to suspend here.
Yeah.
Like, that is a lot.
I was like, so you know about everything this guy's done. You had access, or were able to find all these files, all these pictures, these documents, and not only that, he's looking at that and he's saying that in front of all these other police officers, and nobody's like, oh my God, you've been doing this for
they're
how
like, oh,
long?
no, that's Matthews.
Yeah, they're just like,
oh, that's the tried and true method. Remember?
God damn! I thought beating them was not planting evidence.
It's all part of the training. Yeah. One thing I will say, though, is that I feel like this reveal was just for us.
Right.
Because Matthews has been watching the screen for like an hour.
Well, I feel like that's why he had to be like, you may not remember them. Because otherwise it doesn't make any fucking sense.
He's like,
it's like, I arrested her and him. And it's like...
You're just fucking planting evidence willy-nilly on all these people, so much so that you're forgetting who you're framing.
Who they are.
Like,
he's like, you're out of control.
That's crazy, dude.
No wonder you're confined to a desk.
Yeah, did I frame that girl? Can't remember.
Why do you look so familiar?
Yeah, oh, the crack. But Jigsaw says it would be a shame if they found out who Daniel is. Back at the house, Xavier stumbles back into the first room, dragging his bat behind him and accidentally removing the jacket that's covering Gus's corpse. Jonas follows close behind, but stops to throw up in the hallway. But on his way out of the room, Xavier, for some reason, remembers Jigsaw's words about the safe combination, and he stops to check the back of Gus's neck. He finds the number 2 written in red. So firstly, sidebar, this is where the Over the Rainbow comes in. It wasn't just watching Wizard of Oz or anything.
Hi, you said.
Yeah. But the thing that is very interesting to consider is that there are 8 people here.
Right.
Roy G. Biv, 7 letters. Think about that.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. But I will say that I think this whole thing would have worked better if Gus was not wearing a collared shirt. So maybe Xavier on his way out is like, what's that? And looks. Yeah. But there's no way he saw anything.
Yeah.
He's like, this might sound crazy, but let me just look.
And he just got very lucky.
Yeah.
But just then, Jonas makes his way into the room, still vomiting. Thought you took care of that in the hallway.
I laughed because he walked into the room to vomit on the floor. Glad you could join us, Jonas.
This is where we puke, right? But Jonas tries to make peace with Xavier, but Xavier's not buying it. And he's kind of into it when Jonas tells him that the others are scared of him. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, no
good. But Jonas says that he's got enough enemies on the outside. What's worse is those enemies are looking for him, and if they don't find him, they're going to come after his family. Xavier somehow doesn't understand this predicament and says that he's content on his own.
He's like, hey, what's a fucking family? What are you talking about?
Yeah. But he then brandishes the knife that he stole off the mannequin in the cellar and tells Jonas to turn around. Jonas, confused, does not, and a fight ensues instead. In a tackle, Xavier whacks his face on the safe and gets his ass thoroughly kicked by Jonas. Unfortunately, Jonas's body betrays him, and he crumbles to the floor to vomit, and Xavier gets the upper hand, snagging that nail bat and swinging it into the back of Jonas's head, killing him.
And
Yeah.
I did laugh though because he came at Jonas with the knife and Jonas turned it on him fucking immediately.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was like in a split second.
And it kind of pisses me off because it's like, why didn't you whip his ass
earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had this in you.
It's like, no, you wait until you can't stop vomiting.
Yeah.
It's like, great.
But Xavier then finds a yellow 16 on the back of Jonas's neck before leaving the room. But we cut to Addison walking down a hallway with Daniel, Amanda, and Laura behind her. Laura, totally overcome with, being poisoned, collapses to the floor. Amanda cradles her, but Addison isn't down to stop. She says if the tape is telling the truth, the front door will open in 1 hour. But Amanda says they're not going to make it that long. But Laura notices a crack in the glass of a nearby photo frame, and it's in the shape of an X. X marks the spot. Addison then pulls the frame off the wall and turns it over to find a very poorly photoshopped picture
Yes.
of Daniel and his father in front of Madison Square Garden for a Knicks game.
I had to pause it here
Yeah.
because I knew that Daniel was going to get his spot blown up.
Of
Yeah.
course.
I'm expecting an envelope with Daniel's name on it, and then Jigsaw, the sins of the father,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, and everybody be like,
What does
oh,
that
fuck,
mean?
Yeah. Just a fucking picture. And then in a moment, we see that it literally has a father and
Yes.
son written on the
Written
front.
on, like, Jigsaw's like, just in case you guys don't
Yeah.
understand.
Like, clearly, y'all can't follow instruction or rules. You don't get riddles. Let me just fucking spell it
Yeah.
out for you. I had to pause it because I could not stop laughing.
No, he's like, he's not just some neighborhood kid.
Yeah.
Father and son.
Not his nephew, but Addison recognizes Matthews immediately. He's the cop who set her up. Amanda begs Daniel to tell her that Matthews isn't his father, but obviously he can't. Just then, Laura begins to seize, vomiting out a reddish liquid before dying in Amanda's arms.
Okay, but Amanda, that is not the way you care for someone who's having a seizure.
What,
Yeah.
By just holding
By
their face?
gripping her jaw
It's like, no,
and
keep it
holding her
shut.
on her
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, well, I mean, you didn't like her anyway, Nay. So.
I don't. I mean, you can do that to her, but don't do that to anybody else.
If anybody else around you. But Daniel holds the picture, which does have father and son written on the back of it. Addison tells the group that she can't trust any of them and goes off on her own.
I didn't plant the evidence.
Yeah.
I'm here too. Look at the bags under my eyes. I
Yeah.
feel
No
like shit.
shit.
I just love that they're like, I bet Daniel put his dad up
Yeah.
to it.
No shit.
Hey, Dad, here's some crack to plant. Like, that never happened. This scene never took place. But, I mean, I guess you're in I think we could call this situation tense.
Right.
Yes.
So I imagine that learning that would be kind of a deal breaker.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you also know you're on a time limit. I
True.
need to get out. I can kick your ass outside on the lawn, but right now you need to help me.
I mean, but when you
Figure
just
it
be like,
out.
I don't even fucking like him, man. My dad sucks. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's what
don't. I mean, I don't. He's
Hence
just
the,
like
I hate my dad.
Like, yeah.
nobody. Yeah,
The slide.
nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody explains anything. They're just like, yep. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Well, much like a lot of films that we discuss, a lot of problems could be solved with a simple conversation.
Yep.
always.
But Amanda remarks that they now know what they all have in common. Daniel tells her that he didn't know, but when Xavier calls out to them from a distance, bloody and wielding his knife, Amanda leaves Daniel on his own in the hallway. She goes back to the room where it all began, finding Jonas's corpse and staring at it in shock. She then runs back to collect Daniel to get a move on, realizing how unsafe they are right now. But Xavier continues collecting numbers, finding a green 11 on the back of Abby's neck. This made me laugh on commentary, the shot of Abby's neck.
Yeah.
That's another Darren Lynn Bousman cameo.
Nah.
He's just all over the place. But Donnie Wahlberg goes, yeah, I noticed that wasn't Timothy Bird because there were rolls on them. I was like, dude, why are you doing this?
Damn, dude.
Like, it's just cruel.
You're never working in this town again.
Yeah, that's it, Wahlberg. You finished. But Addison, meanwhile, struggles to stay up while making her way through a hallway. Xavier calls out to Amanda and Daniel, saying that he found a way out, failing to mention that it's probably their deaths.
Right.
But thankfully, they don't buy it and just take off on their own. He then stumbles upon Laura's body, rolling her over to find the number 8 on the back of her neck. We didn't get a close-up shot on like the other, so I can't tell you the color.
Yeah.
It's a very dingy house. And it's color graded to fuck, by the way, but that's just a personal thing. But Daniel, the fucking dork that he is, left the photo of him and his father on the ground for Xavier to find, which he promptly does.
Yeah.
He throws it down, calling out to Daniel. He then runs into Daniel and Amanda in the exit door room, pulling the knife on them and telling them not to run.
Why would we not run?
Yeah, no shit.
We are being threatened currently. But they do hoof it immediately as Matthews watches Xavier pursue them on the screen in the surveillance room. He flashes back to some on-set photos of him and Daniel and decides to take matters into his own hands. He calmly walks back over to Jigsaw, and Rig holds Carrie back, who is not in favor of this at all.
Rig is like, they need this.
Yeah.
Bobby Elvis, man. But Matthews flips the table and proceeds to whip Jigsaw's entire ass all over the room.
He throws him like he's a doll, and it looked fucking hilarious.
But Jigsaw antagonizes him during this, and he gets his finger broken for it, really letting on that it is incredibly painful.
Yeah.
It looked incredibly painful. My thing is, if you're whooping this dude's ass and he's talking shit to you to get you to whoop his ass more,
Yeah.
doesn't that make you think that you're doing what he wants you to be doing?
Right.
I know that we talked a lot in the first Saw that there were a lot of shades of Seven in there, but this is really giving the become wrath moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Where it's like, okay, let me take a step back because you're not enjoying this, but like you look like you want me to do this.
Right.
And why you haven't been doing what he wanted so far, so why are you giving
Yeah,
this?
no.
Yes.
But Jigsaw says that's the Eric Matthews they gave medals to. I'm like, oh, fuck.
All right.
God damn, man.
But back at the house, Addison shuffles into a room with a glass box hanging from the ceiling. She finds a tape, but discards it when she notices 2 arm slots in the bottom of the box and a syringe of antidote inside. She reaches inside with one hand, snagging the syringe, but spilling all of the antidote. She reaches in with her other hand for some unknown reason.
Why? Why? You already spilled it. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe if I get my hand real wet.
Yeah.
Like, what? But we see that the slots are actually razor sharp, slicing into her arms and leaving her unable to remove them.
Girl, you're going to have to Gerald's game your way out of there. There's no other way.
yeah.
You can't do that. Those, cut her hands off.
Well,
I just don't.
you like my rebuttal?
Yeah.
I just don't understand why she did that. Like
No.
she did it. Like, oh hey, what is this gonna do?
Uh-huh.
Are you look at the hand you put in there?
Yes.
And like you said, you already spilled it. Why would you be like, oh, let me still try to pull it out?
No point.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. This might be, I don't know why, for me, this trap is hard to watch.
Right.
But at the same time, it's the kind of the easiest one.
Yeah.
It's the lazy, to me, this is when I was like, it feels very rushed toward the end.
Uh-huh.
This is what I was referring to because, I mean, we don't get to hear the tape.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
She foolishly sticks both hands in there. There's no like, would you be willing to lend a hand? Or like, I don't, there's no way out of this. How the fuck does she get out of this? And then I don't want to spoil anything moving forward, but we never see what happens here.
Yeah.
No.
We
At
don't
all.
see her die. We don't see her get out. It just ends here. This was disappointing to me.
No, I will agree. I will say that we do get a pretty cool visual because as she's crying and screaming for help and everything, blood begins to coat the bottom of the box.
Yeah.
And we get some shots of her under her blood.
Right.
And the way the light hits her blood, it's like a pretty neat looking red situation.
Red like you never saw red or just red?
It's no Mothman. But Daniel and Amanda make their way back to the safe room while Xavier follows Addison's screams to find her trapped. Instead of helping her, he just moves her hair to find a blue number 9 on the back of her neck.
Can you imagine experiencing this moment without knowing that you have a life-saving number written on the back of your neck?
Yeah.
I'd be upset.
What the fuck?
But Xavier just leaves, and in standard Saw-style editing, Addison is just left to die screaming in pain.
This is, I think, when it's all...
Yeah.
I'm like, can a person with epilepsy even watch these movies? Because
I don't know.
It gets fucking like crazy for really no reason.
There are some points that even I'm like, fucking hell,
Yeah.
dude.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it kind of goes overboard.
Do you think films should start with warnings of that? Or
I
at
mean,
least...
games do.
That's true.
I mean, obviously it's not going to apply to every movie, but this one I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, I could definitely see that triggering something.
No, it's and it's frequent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's multiple times. I feel like this was just like maybe the longest time.
right.
But
Yeah, and oddly, it's the longest, but with the least result because we don't even see her die.
literally no payoff. Yeah.
So, one thing I will say, and this is for anyone who's listened to the commentary track, but Donnie Wahlberg, anytime Emmanuel Vaugier appears on screen, he is horny on main.
Ew.
And it is fucking crazy. And this scene is the worst. He says something that is a crime.
Oh my God.
And so I don't want to repeat
That
it here.
is a crime.
But if you listen to that track, it's a lot. But then he's like, well, I'm just, saying. I'm like, you've already said
No.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't-
don't backtrack
No,
now.
you can't do that now. But I will say in regards to this trap, they said on commentary it was originally supposed to have a grill element and that she was this is back when it was the Desperate because it was just fucking violent for the sake of violent.
Yeah.
Like a barbecue grill
Yeah.
or like the teeth?
No. He's like, bite down on
You want to see my what?
But now I got the fucking song stuck in my head. But they said that she would have to press her face into the grill to release her hands from the razors.
Right.
And so either way.
Okay, see?
Oh,
because
yeah.
there's always a way to get out. It's never something you want to do, but there's a way to get out. There
that
was
makes
no
sense.
fucking way for her to get out.
They said that if she would have listened to the tape in this incarnation of the trap, there's a key hidden somewhere in the room. And if you look, there is a lock at the top of the box.
so
all right.
All she has to do is just find the key, open the box, and get the antidote. But instead, she's like, what these buttons do? Oh, I'm trapped. But meanwhile, Matthews continues whipping Jigsaw's ass to the point of his own exhaustion.
Yeah.
He then pulls his gun, placing it in Jigsaw's mouth, asking where his son is.
Now, is this just like an interrogation tactic, or is he really contemplating killing him?
Right.
Because I don't know how killing him would help the situation at all.
I don't think he's going to kill him.
No.
I think it was like more just an intimidation
Like
tactic.
I can, though.
Yeah.
Too easily. But Jigsaw finally relents. I laughed because he takes the gun out of his mouth and he goes, game over.
Yeah.
He's like, it's done. Yeah, sorry. Sorry about everything. But he says that he'll take Matthews to the house, but he'll only take him and no one else. He directs Matthews' attention to a button on the wall, and the two take an elevator down before the other officers notice.
Stop.
Yeah, I don't...
Stop that.
No shit.
I don't understand, but at the same time, I was like, I guess watching your colleague beat an old dying man's ass isn't something you want to focus on for too long.
Right.
So
Yeah, but
I
I think
understand turning away.
Somebody should keep an eye on that
Just-
because that
Yeah.
could go very
Well,
bad very quickly.
Rig was enjoying it.
Yeah.
You watch Rig, and then...
And then the rest of us can turn away in disgust.
Yes, and let us know if they hop onto an elevator.
But I'm like, they had the walkie-talkie too.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
were
they did.
listening and they were watching, but now all of a sudden nobody sees or hears this
They didn't hear
happening.
that
Well,
part.
yeah. Plus picking up the door. He had to pick up the damn gate on the
Right,
elevator
to
door
get
to get in
inside.
there.
They're like, no, that's normal ass beatings.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the ridiculous thing is they said that there was not an elevator, obviously, because this is just a giant studio.
Yeah.
And so the elevator doors that you see are CG. And
Oh,
they're,
shit.
they're literally just being shot on film and the camera is moving.
Huh.
Like,
That's
right.
great.
it's unbelievable. I bought it.
Yeah.
But just as the elevator descends, the tech team acquires a signal, giving the address to Carrie, who gives it to Rig and the SWAT team. Matthews and Jigsaw speed off in a van, Matthews periodically beating a very busted Jigsaw for directions.
When I saw him in the car, I was like, God damn, he fucked him
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, he did.
And also, you can't beat me and expect good directions.
No.
Like,
Yeah,
you can do
no
one or the other.
I will laugh very hard because I've been passenger of a car giving directions.
Right.
And I've been a driver who's gotten directions from a passenger. But he punches Jigsaw and he says, "Where to now?" And Jigsaw goes, "Straight."
Yeah.
So he was already
Keep
going
going.
right.
I'm shitty at directions anyway. Don't punch me on
Yeah.
top of
Yeah.
Now my head's ringing.
it. We're never going to get where we're trying to go.
But he eventually tells him it's the last house on the left, which is a reference.
Of course.
Back at the house, Xavier tries to bust his way into the safe room, saying all he wants is the numbers on the back of their necks. Amanda pulls the bat from Jonas's head and jams it under the door. I would never think to do that, honestly.
No.
Because I don't even know how this bat would keep that door closed or how you would know. I bet if I jam that
It probably wouldn't, but here we are.
we'll allow it. But the funny thing is that they were telling him on the opposite side. I forgot the actor's name. It's not Kenny G. It's something G.
Frankie.
Frankie G. That would be very fucking hilarious if it was Kenny G. But they told Frankie G, they're like, dude, fucking like go at this door. You're trying to get in. You're trying to figure this out so you can get the fuck out of here. And so he's banging on the thing so hard that he knocks down the entire wall of the set.
Oh my God. He did what y'all asked him to do.
Yeah, and they said that the one that you see that he's very forceful at the door is the take that he does it, and it's in the film.
Oh, shit.
But Amanda notices something very odd about the way Jonas's blood has pooled. It reveals a door underneath the safe. Unfortunately, it's locked, but they remember the key that they found earlier, the one that Jonas pocketed. That's an interesting way to say that word. Pocketed. Well, you remember on The Simpsons when the curator is like, I pocketed it.
Yeah.
I think I got the second man.
There you go.
But the key works.
Right.
And they head down below. Xavier breaks into the room just in time to see them head down, and he follows them. They didn't even shut the door behind them.
Yeah.
Nope. Well, they were shutting it when he came
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
But
We're down
move
here.
faster,
Yeah.
move faster. Yeah.
But Matthews and Jigsaw finally arrive at the house, Jigsaw handing him a key that he'll need once inside. Once he gets inside, he cautiously makes his way through with his gun and flashlight at the ready, calling out for his son.
Now, this was too easy.
If you're
get here.
If you're Matthews?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I'm so strong. I fucking whooped it out of him. Basically. Man, that was easy.
Not only that, he changed his tune immediately and then was like, okay, no, I'll be helpful.
Yeah.
You're going to trust him? No, you're my shield. You go in front of me.
And I think absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of, you're known for your booby traps.
Yeah, no. You try those stairs first.
Yeah. I saw what happened. My man's got a chicken leg now. I will say, though, one thing that is odd to me is that just because Jigsaw said that I'm only going to take you doesn't mean that you don't allow for like a police presence behind you, near you, enough to just watch to make sure. Because now, I mean, what's about to happen?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have happened.
Right.
But Matthews finds the photo of him and his son on the floor.
He's like, fuck.
It's like, God damn it, that Photoshop we did.
Yeah.
But he also finds the bodies of Laura and Jonas. Down below, Xavier continues his pursuit of Amanda and Daniel, and we watch as the SWAT team breaks down the door to enter the house. But strangely, Carrie can't see them on the surveillance cameras.
Immediately.
Yes.
I know what that means.
100%.
yeah.
And she's like, guys,
Yeah.
are you lying about being in the
Yeah.
house?
But she said, like, she acts so weird because she acts like they can't hear her on the walkie.
Well, nobody's
Yeah.
answering her.
Yeah, but they're very busy.
No, I mean, I know, but I found that I was confused because like, just say something.
Yeah.
I was like, this lady's yelling
we're
at you.
here, we're
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
She's
copy
like,
something.
"Snake!"
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I will say, though, is that as much as we talked about the Saw editing and everything, this sequence to edit together must have been a pain in the ass.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got three things going on concurrently, and they do this thing that's very interesting where they're like whip panning into different groups of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they're like, here's fucking Daniel and Amanda being chased. Here's Matthews running through the
Is
house.
that the star wipe thing
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah, it was. And they overuse it. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But I think it works here, maybe not everywhere else. But Amanda and Daniel make their way past a pipe-covered wall to find a large metal sliding door. Amanda opens it, switching on the lights. The camera glides past overhead lights as they turn on in rows to reveal the large, dingy bathroom from the first film, complete with archived audio clips of the game that we watched Dr. Gordon and Adam Stanheidt play.
I live for this shit.
Yes.
I was very, very excited to be, not to be back here,
No,
but
yeah.
I was really excited to see this set again.
Me too. And it's the thing that surprised me the most is that this set was completely rebuilt for this film.
Oh,
Damn.
really?
Yeah.
All right.
They said that they took stills from the Saw DVD and they built it like tile by tile. And it looks exactly
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that. I would have, yeah.
Right? But through old lines of dialogue and revelations, we see the corpses of Adam and Zepp Hindle, as well as the foot that Dr. Gordon left behind. Interestingly, both of these corpse dummies, I guess, and all of the blood used in the entire film were given to the production by Greg Nicotero.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
I learned that on a featurette, and I was like, how did he deliver the blood? Like, it's
Just
interesting.
in drums.
In buckets. Yeah.
UPS is like, what the fuck? But Daniel sinks to the floor, bleeding from his mouth. Xavier bangs on the door, finally opening it, and the Hello Zepp theme begins to play. Amanda sinks down next to Daniel, telling Xavier that he's gone. Xavier doesn't care, though. He just wants the numbers on the back of their necks. But Amanda tells him that he'll still need his number. How will he know it if she doesn't tell him? Realizing that there are no mirrors and he can't angle the knife properly to see it, he does the only thing he can think to do. He slices off the skin on the back of his neck.
You wanted it more.
Yeah.
You gotta give it to him. I mean,
It did make me laugh that he cut it perfect. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, well, it's about here on everybody else.
that's where I've seen it, so that is true. But Amanda watches in horror as he screams, ripping off the piece of skin as we see a montage of the previous numbers and deaths that brought us all to this point.
I don't know if he needed to cut the skin that thick.
Yeah.
Well, he's never done it
Like,
before.
fuck, man.
But he does, as you said, he cuts it off perfectly enough for him to be able to read it, and he stashes his neck skin in his pocket for later.
Yeah.
That cracked me up. I did read though that was Frankie G's idea because in the script he was just supposed to throw it to the side. But I think that as fucking selfish and greedy as he's been this entire film, I could see him being like, no, this is mine. Like even in that moment, you can't see this. This is mine. Like that's crazy. I like that.
But he advances on Amanda, and as soon as he does, Daniel springs to life, kicking him in the shin and slashing him in the throat with one of those saws from the first film. Xavier reaches out for them before collapsing and bleeding out from a very convincing throat wound.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looked really good.
That looked good.
That's probably one of the best. It made me laugh because they kept calling it this on the featurette, but that's one of the best neck bleeds I've ever seen. But Matthews finds the secret hatch as well, heading down to continue his search. The SWAT team starts to clear the rooms, but Carrie still can't see them on the monitors. The team then discovers a desk covered in a red cloth, and when they remove it, they find a ton of monitors, all displaying the security feed that they've been watching.
John loves a good tarp.
He does.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a second one in the room. Because he reveals this one to reveal a stack of VCRs, all playing recorded tape. Rig hits pause on the tape, and Carrie realizes it. The feed they've been watching was not live.
the calls are coming from inside the house. My question, though,
he's so underwhelmed.
Oh my God. They were tracking the feed, right?
Yeah.
From the live video?
Yeah.
Would they have been able to track a VCR just playing this?
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll just say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I feel like that doesn't make any sense.
It's fine.
Don't look too
Exactly.
close.
And I mean, in all fairness, I don't know if it's maybe the feed because they are broadcasting this.
Right.
Maybe that's the feed and not necessarily where it's playing from, but the location it's playing from.
Maybe.
All right.
I mean, I'm trying here, man.
Also, too, I had mentioned it to your sister when I was watching it. So is this the only police force in town? Because there's no other cops that would have got there. I figured this would have been like everybody needs all hands on deck here.
One would
there's
think.
no city cops. There's
And
no
Like Grungetown PD.
Yeah.
This is all we got.
Grungetown. I will tell you that they did talk about this on commentary.
Yeah.
And it is all a matter of budget.
Right.
Damn.
Because they had asked the producer, they said 50 SWAT officers, this and that, and they're like, you can have 8.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah. That's
That's not even close.
No, that's why. What a horrible haggle.
Yeah.
That's not even half of what I asked for.
At all.
Here are 2 free passes.
But one thing I do want to point out is that Jigsaw's little workshop had so many items from the house as clues to kind of show that the game had already been played.
Yeah.
The ore that Amanda grabs from the cellar.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the room.
Okay.
Whenever they're doing back and forth of Matthews and Jigsaw, right in the middle of them is the X marks the spot picture.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Okay.
So it's all already happened.
And we're just like, continue.
Yeah. Also, whenever fucking Matthews goes to the house and before he descends into the secret hatch, the safe is already opened. The safe that they couldn't open.
Oh, shit.
And there's a syringe on the floor that's been used.
Yeah. So it's like... are we to infer that Amanda gave that to Daniel?
Well, we'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he should be dead.
Yes, he should.
Yeah.
He very, very much should be dead. But Matthews makes his way to the bathroom in the dark, discovering Xavier's corpse and calling out to his son. He notices a hand resting on the wall of the bathtub, and when he goes to investigate, a robed person in a pig mask launches up, injecting him with a syringe.
There's something so funny about this person lying costumed in that tub waiting on him, and the fact that it's like this cloaked figure in a mask, and the mask has hair on it.
It does.
And him being like, Daniel?
It's like, what have you gotten into, man? I know we haven't talked in a couple days, but I will say that I don't know why the pig is able to make demon noises just because they're wearing a mask.
It comes inside the mask.
There's a box. It's the thing from Scream 3.
I mean, you are not opposed to roughing somebody up a little bit. Shoot out a kneecap.
He aims the
gun. Shoot a shoulder.
But then does nothing.
Yeah.
Even if it is Daniel, like he'll be like, dude, don't be fucking jumping out at me. The stakes are high right now.
But
I'm not saying
heal.
I'm not saying shoot to kill, but I would have shot.
Yeah.
But he's using, the pig's got what Dexter uses.
Okay.
So he grows weak real fast. And he does pass out almost immediately. But Carrie watches as the timer runs out on the desk and a safe behind Jigsaw's desk opens. She makes her way over with the other officers to find Daniel inside, his hands tied and an oxygen mask on his face.
I was like, he literally said safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's in a safe place.
God damn it.
A safe, secure state. He's a fucking wordsmith.
Literally. If he would have just sat at that table and talked with him until the timer ran out. The door. I mean, if you just would have listened, nobody listens.
Instead, you whipped an old man's ass. And now you got Dextered by a fucking pig. But back in the bathroom, Matthews wakes up to find his leg chained and a tape player next to him. He presses play, and we hear Amanda's voice. She says he probably doesn't remember her, but he changed her life by sending her to prison. She was guilty of a lot of things, but not the crime that he framed her for. She says the second time someone changed her life, she was guilty, and we flash back to her wearing the reverse bear trap.
So, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Is Matthews committing these crimes and then framing people? I don't understand.
Well, he's just framing people. He's just a bad guy. Well, I don't
understand the motivation.
He wanted to be a hero. I got all those medals.
All right, sure.
I don't know what medals mean. But he has a ton of them, apparently.
Best framer.
Yeah.
Most valuable evidence plan. I don't know.
Most crooked.
Yeah.
But Amanda says that her life was saved that day, and she found herself a father, a leader. We watch as Jigsaw tells her that she must meet death in order to be reborn. We then see a clip from the first film where she told detectives Tap and Sing that Jigsaw helped her. The tape continues. What is the cure for cancer, Eric? The cure for death itself. The answer is immortality. Matthews screams for his son as we see Amanda delivering Daniel to Jigsaw before Matthews' game even started. One thing that is interesting, and we kind of touched on it earlier, is the clues that Amanda is in on it.
Right.
Which is, again, she does not get sick at all, doesn't cough, her skin is perfect.
Right, yeah.
Like nothing, and the only thing that is kind of a throw off is her being thrown into the needle pit.
Right.
Because it's like, oh shit, she's in this shit.
Yeah.
And her being scared because she is panicking when she wakes up.
That is true, and she plays it very well.
Yeah.
Also, the Roy G. Biv being 7 letters.
Right.
Yeah.
She's the 8th person.
Yeah.
You know? It's I think the twist is pretty well planted, personally.
It is.
Right.
But Amanda says that by creating a legacy, you become immortal. As a montage of previous scenes continue, Amanda says the tables are turned, and we watch as she removes the pig mask after she injected Matthews, showing that she was the one that did it. She says, "It is I who will carry on John's work after he dies," and Matthews is her first subject. She appears in the doorway and places her hand on the door as Matthews screams obscenities at her. Game over, she says as she slams the door shut and Matthews continues to scream.
I think this is a pretty brilliant full circle moment of her doing exactly what John did in the first one.
Absolutely.
John Paul shaking his head. It worked for me.
Yeah, me too. It's a shame what is done to Amanda in later sequels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I feel like this, honestly, and we talked about it earlier, could have been the end of the franchise.
Yeah.
I would have been fine. Well, come on. But in our last shot in the film, we see Jigsaw sitting in the van, a smile stretching across his bloody face. We fade to black, and the credits roll. So, what did you guys think of Saw 2?
It was okay. It was a movie.
It was a movie.
I know we were talking about last night. We were texting in the group chat talking about meeting up this morning to record, and John Paul goes, "Well, the movie was ... a movie." Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't work for me. Like
really?
The whole, and I think the reason for it is when I realized that there was nothing wrong with her. I was like, you guys should have, and I might not be a popular opinion, but y'all should have teamed up, interrogated her. Maybe, hey, why aren't you like us? We've been here an hour together. We're all sick and you're not.
She could have pretended.
Yeah. And
don't start now.
What are you talking about?
Just openly, she was just fine. She was doing, it's like, you've beat this before. Nothing's wrong with you. You know something.
I think the thing is that I think they're dealing with too much to even notice it. And I think that a lot of people watching the movie might not even notice that she's not acting sick.
I'm not gonna lie, it took me a little bit.
It did not me. I noticed immediately, and I was like, oh, but I did tell your sister, maybe it's because I had seen this one before, and I remembered her, so I was like, okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
So maybe that's all it was. But also too, like I didn't care for any of them. I don't care for Jigsaw. I don't like. He's so. I mean, that's your reason for killing people, or that for doing he just didn't he doesn't do anything for me. Like, he's very bland. It's like, and even at that, him I don't kill anybody. They do it themselves. Okay, so then I don't understand. Then what?
Well, that's a lie. First,
yeah. It's like I don't.
That's number one.
Let me stop you right there.
I told your sister. I said, so at the end of this, you killed these innocent people, so your fucking pupil could get to this cop she has a grudge on. They might have been whatever. The guy sold drugs. This guy's an ex-con. That girl, whatever. The boy said Daniel.
Yeah.
He survived. But you killed all these other people so she could have that. You ratted out the guy who helped you take them, but he's a rat.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That
dude?
part infuriated me. He's like, but it's okay when I do it.
Yeah. Oh, you frame these people. You're a piece of shit. You kill these people to get him alone.
Yeah,
what the fuck are you talking about?
I will say that it's kind of a false morality situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think what gets me most about Jigsaw is that he is willing to put a lot of innocent people in the way of harm in order to help one asshole.
Right.
You know?
And the cops in the stairway at the beginning when they went went in there. You broke this dude's legs for what? Now he can't run with his daughter anymore.
Well, that was...
you know what I mean? It's like, you shocked the shit out of these dudes for what?
That was just home security.
He's
like, I'm doubling down.
Right.
I've never killed anyone.
He's fine. Walk it off.
Yeah.
Take a salt tablet.
But yeah, it was there. You know what I mean? I watched it. Like I said, the kills... some of the deaths are pretty interesting. It's like, oh, okay. I feel the same way. The lady putting her arms it was just like, come on. I don't know why you did that. Oh, this arm's stuck. Let's see if I put the other one in there.
Genius.
All right. Yeah, sure. But I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I did find myself more than not scratching my head at the TV more than like, oh man, that was badass. You know what I mean? So it did that, and like I said, the characters, I didn't care for any of them. Not Donnie Wahlberg, not any of them. I was just like, man, you guys are just just kind of here. I was like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Detective Carey was kind of cool.
She's fine. She's barely in it.
I liked her.
She slept with a married man and broke up a home.
Nay, she wasn't married to anyone. That's Detective Matthews' fault.
He did break the home, but still. You're starting at a deficit with me, but...
is this
Officer Judy?
Lemon bars? Yeah.
I can get your issues with it for sure. I think I have a little more affection toward it than you do. I do have some issues with it, though, in terms of characterization, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm Matthews, you did all this shit for me, like I'm a little flattered, but I'm anybody else, I'm just a pawn, so you can get this fucking ass like that.
And these are pawns that were innocent.
And, that's what I'm saying.
The fact that we don't know anything about anybody, I get that Xavier is a piece of shit, okay? Even Obby, if he's like, yeah, fucking cut me, dude, I don't care, I brought y'all here, whatever. I get, okay, these two are quote unquote bad guys or whatever. Nobody else have you explained what they should be here for. They shouldn't be here, especially, or not especially, but even, I guess they implied that Addison is a sex worker. That's a reason for you to kill somebody, John?
Yeah.
Like that, I'm like questioning your politics, your morals. Like now I don't even like you.
Who have you donated to, man?
Yeah.
Who did you vote for?
Yeah, motherfucker.
So it just, that aspect of it bothers me because we're explicitly told that all of these people were framed, but it's okay for them to, and then we don't even learn about the dude that gets shot in the eye. We don't learn anything. We don't get, I would love another 20 minutes even so we can hear everybody's tape.
Well, I will say in all fairness, I mean, while they were innocently, they were framed and shit, dudes fucking dealing drugs, killing people.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
that's the one I gave you two. That okay, so, maybe they're bad.
Was Obby an arsonist?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we were never told.
Okay.
I don't know. And another thing, why did he make Amanda slit her wrists?
I don't know I don't know.
Because let me tell you what would have worked better for me. I love the handing of the torch thing. I love the full circle moment in the bathroom with her being a surrogate Jigsaw. I love all of that. What really, really would have worked better for me is if she really had been either self-harming or tried to take her own life or whatever that situation was framed as, and he put her back in because maybe he kept an eye on her because he saw potential in her.
Right.
To be like a protege?
Yeah. All of this actually happened. She was actually in it. She followed the rules and got out and is so fucking Stockholm syndromed up that she immediately goes right into being under him or his new whatever.
Yeah.
That would have worked better for me than him being like, yeah, now cut. Okay, yeah. Now I'm going to throw you in with the rest of them. And yeah, you might get thrown in a nail pit or a needle pit. But, you're going to be fine. It would work better for me if he gave her another chance at life. She squandered it again. But instead of him just taking her out, he's like, no, there's something here. She beats it again. And then now she's the new Jigsaw. I like that better.
That would also go with her. Maybe he didn't give her, or maybe he gave her the antidote already before she went in
just
there.
To see if she could
and
get
it would
out.
be like, okay, that's why she wasn't sick. He saved her because he's seen.
I see
what,
some.
Okay,
or maybe
I'll
even,
give that.
The whole reveal thing where everything's overlapping. We hear her tape. I saw something special in you. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That would have worked better for me because now I'm like, you're a goddamn good actress, Amanda. Like, you're wasted. You should have been on Broadway, dude. Yeah. It's like you wasted all of this.
I will say one shot is a little funny to me when she drops off Daniel at Jigsaw's feet and just kind of rolls her neck and cracks it like, whoo. That's a way to spend an afternoon.
It's been a goddamn day. But no, I still really like this, even though I know logically and analytically, when you look through, there's a lot of shit that doesn't add up. Most importantly to me, that was the thing that after I had watched it, I couldn't stop laughing about it because I'm like, you really let all these people die.
Oh yeah.
Just for this one dude, and you're still in your mind like, oh yeah, no, but police brutality, I got to teach this man a lesson. And all these people died.
Well, but he had I want to hear all the tapes.
You don't know what they did.
Yeah, you don't know what they did.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to know and be like, like, oh, she was a piece of shit too.
Yeah.
Wow, this dude fucking sucks too. Jonas was a voice of reason.
Yeah.
And I mean, this really,
He was.
they all went to prison. A lot of people go to prison and turn their life around when they get out. And that's the vibe that I got from Jonas.
And Jonas is clearly in danger at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got people looking for him and his family.
Yeah.
What's his
They're
story?
like, nah, we're going to fuck this dude.
Jigsaw's like, grab him.
I will say the thing with Amanda's a little nitpicky because it does still work with her being in on it. But that for me is the biggest flaw of the film, is just using these fucking people that were framed and served time for shit that they didn't do, using them as stepping stones to get to fucking Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah.
It's like,
well,
you know who she's married to, man? Or you know who he's married to? That's punishment enough. You let her stay out. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's mean. But
well, public health is
this is the situation here.
always been a concern.
I feel like that is the biggest sin against this movie for me, because I know that Jigsaw doesn't really do it for you. I love Jigsaw fucking telling people about themselves, reading them for filth, fucking roasting them. I love that.
I will say I love Jigsaw a lot, and I think that the idea behind Jigsaw is so creative and unique.
Yeah.
But I will say that the reasonings behind some of his people that he puts in the traps, it's like him
You're just being petty.
Well, it was even in the first film. I'm like, Adam was paid to take pictures, and he deserves
what the fuck?
die.
I think that's my, even his motivation of my life is slipping away and I didn't do anything to deserve it. You are healthy and you have your life and you're wasting it, or you're using it for evil or whatever. I'm fucking down with that. I love the motivation. I love his backstory. Just keep that energy and don't maybe kill innocent people.
I think it's a lot to ask.
I'm not asking for much here, John. That's my only thing. That's my biggest, like, can't really get over in terms of this movie. But I do mostly like it.
And I think the thing is that any complaint that is like levied against this film, I'm like, yeah,
100%.
Sure. But I really think it's a very, very decent sequel.
It is, especially, I mean, for the universe that it's in. I think it's great. I'm not saying it's an amazing film, but for a sequel to Saw, I mean, hell yeah, what more could you really ask for?
No, I agree. I think that for me, part of it might also be nostalgia.
For sure.
It plays a role.
Right.
But I do enjoy this movie, and I feel like the first 3 probably Saw films are all kind of like comfort films for me in a weird way. And I just love the Amanda character.
Right.
I do too.
I think she's fascinating. Really should have taken her to different places from this point. But maybe someday we'll get to talk about Saw 3.
Oh, no.
But I figure we can move on to ratings from here.
Right.
On the positive side, this film really has the spirit of Saw in it. It feels very attached to the universe. And I've always heard that, like, after the first Saw, James Wan just kind of like washed his hands from it and like kind of ran away from it. But from what I read doing the research for this film, Leigh Whannell, of course, co-wrote the film.
Yeah.
But James Wan put in a lot of input as well. And the two of them even visited the set several times.
Oh, I like that.
All right.
You know, they're executive producers. So it's like, you know, I don't know why that kind of got started. Maybe the career that became after.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or the films that came after in the Saw franchise.
Yeah, probably.
So who knows? But I like the sound design. I watched them do some Foley work on the featurette online, and it is fantastic. Like the needle noises.
That stuff is so interesting to watch.
It is. How do you get that gig?
Yeah, that's
that
very
is so cool. He can shuffle his feet like just in time. Like, how do you audition? Watching this dude work, it is so impressive. But I think the morality of it isn't twisted yet to a point where I'm like, this is just fucking.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
And now it's pushing it.
Yeah, it's on the line. It's not too convoluted like the other Saw sequels get. Of course, Tobin Bell, Shawnee Smith, fantastic work. Love the production design, even though everything looks grungy as fuck.
Yeah.
Editing, pretty good in some spots. Love the effects and the makeup. But on the negative side, the editing.
I was waiting on it.
A lot of contrivances as far as like the plot is concerned.
Right.
Especially for me, like Matthew's not requesting a tail as he drives in this van.
Yeah.
Carrie is still at the fucking warehouse.
Yeah.
Like, then 5 of the 8 cops are there too.
Yeah,
Let them follow. One thing I do think is kind of a negative is this is kind of the beginning of the dive into simply being about the violence and
The
gore.
torture.
It maintains a lot of what made Saw great, but I think that it's kind of a peek into how, I guess, I don't want to say mean-spirited the sequels become.
Right.
Because it just becomes like, how are we going to rip these people apart?
Right.
Yeah.
And the story's kind of just there in the background. You get all this convoluted plot lines and timelines that don't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Just so they can keep using Tobin Bell. But for the most part, people are just buying the ticket to see what kind of traps.
The gore.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like with what Saw began with,
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It doesn't jive to me. But for me, on a scale of 1 to 10 nauseating needle drops, I am going to give Saw 2 a 7 nauseating needle drops out of 10. I gave Saw the first an 8.5, and I feel like there was a dip in quality,
Right.
but I feel like they tried to do this film justice, and I respect that. But I will now open the floor to you.
I wish that I had, and I know you've said that before, that you wish you had seen movies when you were younger, so that, and I do remember watching this, but I didn't watch it like that.
Right.
And I watching these, I wish that they would have meant something to me, because these are fun movies, and they're fun to sit there and watch with the group or your friends, or you know what I mean. Even they are turn your mind off movies and just watch it. But I don't know why that it just doesn't work for me. Like, I don't know what it is, and I can't even really put my finger on it, because the movies are fun, and that's what you go to see a Saw movie for. But I don't know why. I'm just like, no, I hate that. No, I don't like it. And I could hear myself, you know what I mean, in there. Like, I was like, man, this is dumb. But why? You know what I mean? I'm like,
why am I so mad right now?
Like, dude, just enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. But I think what it was that the characters, I feel like none of them were really fleshed out as much. So if I don't care about them as they die, or they give me this tiny ass backstory, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I don't, okay, cool. You're dead now. What's going to happen next? Oh, you got your hand cut off because you didn't listen to him or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, man. And then the story was, it was just really weird. You did all this just to get this one dude. You killed other people, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Are you aware of that?
And then you put a child in a safe? What the fuck? It's like, dude, he had air. No, I get it, but that's still very dangerous.
He couldn't have been in a safer place.
Nah. But I mean, they are, you know what I mean? They are fun movies, and I want to say that I've seen the third one, but I don't want to lie and say I have for sure. I know I've seen the first and second one, but I think I'm just thinking of parts of the first one and then trying to be like, no, that happened in another movie, but it did not.
I guarantee that is very difficult with Saw films, because they flash back to all kinds of
Yeah,
things.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So yes.
But I mean, it is a fun movie. I'm really glad that you guys enjoy these, because maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe if I watch it again at a later time and just watch it, I'm like, you know what? This wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But on a scale from 1 to 10, nauseating needle drops, I'm going to have to stay in the middle of the road and give Saw 2 a 5.
All right.
I gave the first one a 6.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And this did dip down from the first one. So I just kind of want to stay in the middle. I'm not saying that it's shitty, or I'm not saying that it's super good, but it is something you should watch. You know what I mean? Give it a chance. They are fun movies.
Yeah.
But like I said, and we've all three said, if you look too close, you know what I mean?
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It starts to fall apart, and then it's like, I'm not enjoying this.
I kind of already went on a too long spiel about what works for me, what doesn't. I am adding a little bit because of nostalgia, because this is the first, and I know I've watched the third one a few times, but I can't recall the main plot line of it. But those first few were really great, and I know that we did watch them quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I do have that nostalgia tied to it. And I mean, it's ridiculous, but kind of ridiculous in the best way.
Right.
Like you said, it turn your brain off kind of.
Yeah.
Because if you're not looking too closely at the end, you're like, holy shit. I'm a sucker for a twist. And this does have a good twist. It doesn't have the twist of the first one. Not as good.
No, but it does have that twist. You can go back.
And yeah, kind of see the breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, nauseating needle drops, I also gave Saw 2 a 7. I gave the first one a 7.5, which I probably retroactively would give an 8 to. But this one is not as good as the first one. I kind of was stuck between a 6.5 and a 7, but I'm going to bump it up just because this was a lot of fun today.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I do have fond memories of this film. It's just watching it now that I'm a little bit older and paying a little bit more attention. There are some issues, and I'm a little nervous going forward. I'm not going to lie.
Well, that's all from us at Pod Mortem. What would you rate Saw 2, and what should we watch next? Let us know on Twitter at the Pod Mortem. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook. Be sure to follow each of us on Twitter at TravisMWH, at Blood and Smoke, and at RealStreeter84. Please consider pledging to our Patreon and stay tuned until after the music for a special thank you to our Wendigo Getter patrons. And remember, while some rules are made to be broken, not following others just might break you. Until next time. Thank you for staying tuned. We want to give a very special thank you to all of our Wendigo Getter patrons.
Woo! That was unplanned.
That was really good. Did you rehearse last night?
I almost said, yeah, you grill. Yeah, you grill.
I just got it out of my fucking head. God damn it. Special thank you to Chris Ontiveros, Kristen Lofton, Megan Martinez, Kimberly Bass, Sophie Hodson, Anthony Jerome M., Jordan Nash, Kent Morton, Guy54, Lala Thomas, Travis and Nisa Hunter, Miguel Myers ATX, Mandy, Jennifer Perez, Pierre Lombard, Allison O'Neill, Carissa, TJ Bronson, Gabrielle Trevino, Spooky Mom, Andy Teague, Applin Ontiveros, Karima Rhodes, Antonio Huerta, Kimberly Kleindienst, Will Brown, Linda, Sydney Smith, Osvaldo Soto, Jonathan Booth, Bobby Holmes, Donna Eason, JD Rizak, Molly Gerhart, Armand Spasto, Aaron Aguirre, Eggy, William Barry, Brittany Ramatar, Charity Oxner, Amanda Six, Mandy Rainwater, Eden, Jordan Roberts, Dylan, Melissa Sierra, Holly Bryan, Jordan Blevins, Michelle Moore, Liz Heath, Spencer Montalvo, Pancake the Panda, John Ramos, Michael Newting, Alexius Roberts, Dan Laveau, Itzy M, Gary Horton, Amanda Aliff, Leisha Olivier, Kate Lamp, Carlos and Sydney, Jessica Hunter, Helena Rudder, Alan Johnston, Nicholas Carter, Mariah, Livy Fun, Mandy M, and Scott Troutman.
Woo!
Ooh, that's good.
We appreciate all of you so much and the support you give us. You are truly our safe place.
Aww.
It's good.
Good little
Like,
sweet.
yeah.
like the child in the safe.
Like that kid that almost suffocated.
Well, Jig, see you later.
Until next time.